What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Pass the Barb. Today's Monday. It's May 13th, and me and the boys are getting ready to fire one up here. It's beautiful here in Minnesota. I know there's been a lot of fishing, a lot of stuff going on. Just want to say before we get into this, pretty excited about it. I really can't even begin to describe how excited I am that we are still sitting on top of the charts here, boys. Number one outdoor podcast in the world. I don't know how it consistently goes this well, but goddamn, are we doing it, boys?
How many weeks straight is that now? I mean, basically since the first episode. So
Literally not even counting anymore.
for the better part of, we're coming up on 2 years. So salute, gentlemen. Cheers to that.
What else can you do? I mean, just might as well just drink to that.
What could I do? Exactly.
There's nothing else, but it's going to be a good one tonight. We got almost the full squad here. We got Will Stolski coming in from the barn.
Yes, good to see you guys. I had a great day on the water, and it's good to be back with the boys.
Was there any development on riding Monk?
That's a work in progress. He's still remembering who I am, so I'm just.
I feel like I would rather you do it for the punishment with him not remembering who you are.
Well, yeah, I don't think so. I don't want to. He could do some damage.
The bareback mule is just
the old adage. Kicks like a mule is pretty
true.
Pretty true. Yeah,
it describes Monk. That's what it's about.
No, we're getting back on a first name basis. Monk and I are now. I mean, I'm giving him treats. We're hanging out a little bit, but yeah, life is good at the barn. No mice. I mean, a quick mouse update. I haven't killed them.
You went and said it. There it is.
I'm a little bit concerned that I haven't got any yet because that means they're somewhere and I haven't found them. So I would rather have killed a couple already than none, to be honest. But I got stickies out. I got some snap traps. I mean, I got a full spread, but nothing really to report on the mouse front. So that worries me more than it relieves me, to be honest. So
I have questions, but
last time it didn't get bad until like the winter, basically. It was like October.
Basically the fall. So, I mean, I may get a little reprieve. I'm certain I will all summer, but that doesn't change the fact that they're somewhere. I mean, they're around. They always are.
They're just out enjoying it. They're in Montana.
Yeah. They're enjoying the warm weather, which thankfully now our weather has finally turned. I assume similar to what Minnesota was like. It was pretty. We had a lot of rain, cold. It snowed 4 days ago, I think. But now we've had awesome weather. Today was 75 degrees and sunny, so it's nice. It feels like we're kind of coming into summer a little bit.
Yeah, I feel that, dude. It's been so hot here the past handful of days. Seriously hot, like 80.
Yeah.
But we're on different spectrums of seriously hot. I'm like, it just got nice out. Like, it's great. It feels like summer. It's May. It's beautiful.
No, it feels good. I think it feels good for sure.
Yeah, just the way Pink was saying it. I'm like, what? Was it like 95 in the metro or something?
No, it was like 80. It was like 80 something. 82, I think.
Beautiful.
It's an adjustment for sure. Ryan, I sort of agree, because it went from like pretty cold and shitty to like really warm. So it feels really hot. I'm going to get used to it. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong, but
but I wasn't like, wow, I should stand for sure more in the sun right now.
Yeah.
See, that's where we differ. Because I was like, I could just sit outside right now in this for all day.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I like the heat.
Fuck that.
Well, either way, weather seems to be good across the board.
Yeah, no. It definitely switched over in Minnesota too. I mean, I've been fishing a ton recently, and it just felt like for 2 weeks, it was either super fucking windy and sunny or absolutely raining.
Right.
Like, no holding up on it. And
Sure.
You got like nothing in the middle. And then like the last day of the Jude and the last like week or so, it's been like you have some nice sunny, calm days. And it's like, okay, we're starting to settle into summer.
Yeah. It definitely feels like we're kind of getting into it now, what is it? It's May. Today we're recording May 13th. So, I mean, it still is we're definitely still springtime, but summer
it's early, dude. It's
is
early.
coming. Yeah, it's coming. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm good. Life's good in the barn. So on to you guys.
Yeah. What's up, Bart? I mean, good to have you back, first of all.
Yeah. Well, I think I was here last one, wasn't I? Yeah, Jay was
it was
here.
just a general, like, good to have you.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like it's,
I don't know.
I was like, shit, was that God?
Wasn't really talking shit. I was just more like, hey.
Yeah. I got you. No, it's been good, man. Like I said, I mean, I feel like everybody else is like getting into the swing of things with fishing, and like I'm like, I have already over 50 hours on my new boat. Like, I've been out a bunch. It's been awesome. Been traveling a lot for it, but now, yeah, had the St. Jude, which we can dive in more into a little bit later. But had the St. Jude, actually won it, which was
son of a gun.
Yeah,
You did, Adam. You won.
Yeah, I won it.
I'm just kidding. I knew. I was following it. So
yeah.
Did they give you something for that?
Just a giant Happy Gilmore check.
Oh,
they
okay.
wouldn't take it at the bank, believe it or not. They didn't really appreciate it.
No.
No, yeah. So $125,000. And then
Ding.
yeah,
4 PF,
yeah, it was good.
if you will.
Yeah.
4 PF, 4
Yeah.
full.
Yeah, another one. There we go.
Adam, I mean, that's you should sponsor the show, Adam. We'd love to have you as a sponsor.
I should sponsor the I feel like I did with the first mic purchases, so maybe I'll
actually
just
you did. So yeah.
Pass a Barb presented by Bartusic
I think
Media.
if you win again, though, you got to get 4 PF tattooed on your face.
You do. 4 pockets full.
If I win another one this year, if I win another one that pays out more than 10 grand, Will, mark it down. I will get 4 PF tattooed, like somewhere, probably on my thigh. I'll get it on my thigh.
Okay.
We'll take it.
Because I think a thigh,
I
think that would actually be hilarious.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. If I somehow win another one,
what's the check got to be? Over 10K?
Over 10.
Yeah. So because it's got to be. That was.
Yeah, that's 10. That's 10 racks.
That's fair.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fair. 10 racks. All right, 4 PF. 4 PF.
That's a stack. You know, 10K is a stack.
Yeah. So I got 8 or 9 tournaments this summer that would be eligible for.
Oh, that are over 10K.
Yeah, at or over. We're around there. I mean, include all the team trails. All the team trails would be included. So I'll do that.
You heard it here first, folks. Adam 4 PF Bart Tusek will get a tattoo if he gets a win over 10K. I think that's fair. It's got to be a big derb.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's got to be a big derb.
Right.
But yeah, so got that one. We can dive into that whole deal a little bit later. But yeah, so that was super cool. Got home from that. And this last week, honestly, I was supposed to get a little bit more work done than I did, but I kind of got home and I, a little bit of it was like, God damn, I really did it. And like kind of just had a little bit of chilling out at home, just relaxing, knowing that summer's getting here and it's going to be really busy, but did get out for opener a little bit, but I didn't travel anywhere crazy. I just fished around home a little bit, went back home for some Mother's Day festivities. And then, yeah, other than that, I've just kind of been hanging out, just a lot of fishing, getting ready for the summer. We head up to Cabotogama this week for a team trail.
Oh, nice.
Which should be interesting.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a cool venue.
Yeah, there's never been a bass tournament there that I know of.
Ever?
No.
I fished there quite a bit. Not quite a bit, but we used to go up there every summer, me and my buddies, and do 3-4 days there. That'll be cool. That'll be
walleye fishing, or did you catch smallmouth?
I went bassing when I was there.
Did you catch quite a bit?
Yeah, nothing very big. I'd be curious to see what the weights are that win that tournament.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting because I've heard anywhere from like if you get 18, you might be looking at winning. And then we were just interviewing a guy who's gone up there for fun for a while now, and he said he thinks it'll take north of 23. And I was like, what?
That's a good question. I mean, the last time I was up there, this was long ago. We used to go up there like, high school to college age, but I just don't remember it being that big. So,
but I know rainy and stuff like that too, though. In the middle of summer, like they don't really show up until they like get on the smelt deal and stuff, like they kind of are hard to find and they're really scattered. So this will be a pre-spawn deal. So I don't know. I think it'll be really interesting.
I think that'll be fun.
I'm just way more excited to go somewhere where like I love going to. I mean, Vermilion's always fun, but like I like doing the gulls and whitefishes and stuff like that. Where there's a tournament there every other year. You know every place in town. The whole deal. Like it's not very often in Minnesota you get to go somewhere where you're like, I don't know.
I think it'll be cool too, because it'll really be like, I don't think there's ever been a bass tournament there. So
yeah,
it's going to be a pretty level playing field. So.
And I think, the coolest thing, Will, you'll appreciate this because you know what the bass tournament scene was like around the Brainerd Lakes area. The local community, I love the BLA area, but the homeowners hate bass tournaments. Everybody hates us.
Yeah, they do.
They really hate us.
Yeah.
So what's cool about this one is, dude, like when we were first looking into it, I helped the team trail kind of with organizing the events and everything. And when we were looking into cab, Peter was having me call a bunch of the resorts and just kind of talk to them and see if there was even facilities to like have a tournament up there.
Yeah.
And I called like one tourism lady. She got a hold of all the resorts and was like, hey, email him. I had like 13 emails in 2 hours from everybody being like, yes, host it here. We'll do it.
Sure.
And I'm like, that has never happened in Minnesota. Normally you're begging bars and restaurants and resorts to let you weigh in. So, dude, like their whole community is like, the bars and restaurants are staying open a little bit longer. So like guys can get dinner. They have special hours for certain gas stations and stuff. Nice. They're having like a local fundraiser barbecue for the firemen and like police officers and stuff at the weigh-in. Like they're going like full out for it. And it's super cool to actually see because you see that down south when you go to tournaments. You don't see that up here. So I'm very pumped about that and just the community up there. And it's going to be sweet.
That'll be cool. Good for the area. Yeah, that'll be sweet.
I've always heard it's one of the most beautiful places in the state, probably too.
Yeah, I think it's very scenic. It's pretty for sure. It looks more like Canada than Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess essentially it is Canada.
Yeah.
Well, that's like pretty much Canada. Right?
Yeah, no,
it's all the way up.
We have our, because we can go into Namakan and stuff to fish. But we have borders drawn that literally run into the Canadian border. Yeah. And it's like, you cannot go there.
Yeah.
So, that's what's coming up this week. Pumped about that. And, how about you, Pink? What you been up to? I saw you went out and put on a pretty big harvest with your mom the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, we absolutely deleted the crappies on Saturday, which was very fun. I mean, we kind of went out like just for like the middle of the day, basically. And we fished for some other stuff too. We caught some bass or whatever, but ended up finding like, I was looking around shallow for crappies and they were kind of just scattered around everywhere because the water temp was like 62. Like there was a ton of them like literally making beds and stuff all over. And pull up on this kind of deep break. And I was like, I can't believe there was some wood in the water and stuff. And there's no crappies on it. And the water's really clear. So I can't believe I'm not seeing them. Roll up to the first dock after all this wood. And I swear to God, 500 sitting under this one dock.
They're just like they're just staring at you.
They're just in the shade underneath like every square inch of like the boat lift, the dock, the walkway, the whole thing. And I was like, spot lock. And we sat there for a couple hours probably and just blistered them, dude. Like it was really fun. And we were pretty much sight fishing, the water's clear, little bobber and a small jig. You just flop it out there and just watch them come in and smoke it. And we filled up the live well pretty quick on that deal, but we caught a ton and it was super fun. And then knocked the sides off a bunch of them and had a nice fish dinner out of the whole deal. So it was fun and she had a good time. And like I said, like we just wanted to go out and catch some fish. And I was like, we definitely tried like for bass and stuff. And I think first spot, she dumped like a 4-pounder on a spinner bait. I was like, damn, that would have been cool. Because like all the other ones, once the sun came out, they were all up underneath the docks. So I was like, if you skip a Senko under there, it was like automatic. You can catch one on every single dock. So I'm like skipping a Senko and then just like handing the rod off really fast. But like as I'm handing the rod off, the line's just like so we were just getting burnt on that nonstop. But I was like, whatever, it's all good. But yeah, that was fun.
That's fun. Fun to get mom out.
Yeah, we had a good time. And then so last weekend fished a tournament. Shit the bed pretty good in that.
Yeah, you had the good old
fun.
UWSP.
We did our alumni
tournament.
Oh yeah, who won that derby?
I have no idea.
You would be happy to know that only one UWSP alumni on this podcast, and we have 3. Yeah. Only one showed up.
Everyone else no-showed. I was like, you got it.
Oh, I thought that Sophie was
did
going.
Too. I did too.
Yeah, you know, right? Sometimes he says things like that, and you're like, yeah, he's gonna come.
So, but
what's
Hahner didn't go either.
No, Cody.
So Sam was gonna fish with Connor. Connor still went.
Okay.
So he showed up. So I drove. I had nowhere to stay, so I was just like, screw it. I'm just gonna drive up there in the middle of the night. So I drove straight to the boat ramp. I just pulled in at like 2 a.m. and climbed in the bed of the truck and slept in there till whatever the takeoff, you know. So Connor shows up. Connor apparently pulls in at like takeoff wasn't until like 6:30. I didn't even hear him pull in because I was like, I'll probably hear the first truck roll in and it'll like wake me up, you know. So I'm like sleeping in the back of the thing. He apparently gets there at like 4:30 for some reason. He's like, oh, I just got up early. I don't know. So he got there and then just went and put his boat in and just like sat there. I don't know, for 2 hours, I guess. But I didn't even hear him. So then eventually I like wake up or something because my partner, my phone was like ringing. I seen it was him and I was like, hello. And he's like, where are you at? And I'm like, in the back of my truck. Like, I don't know. And so I get out, I look out the window and it's like everyone's boats are there. Like everyone's waiting to like dump in. So I like kick the back window open and like climb out. And everyone's just like laughing at me or whatever. I was like, what's up?
All the college kids are like, look at that guy. Like, I was yeah, like, we used to do it like this back
just like the good old days. I was like, that's not even the first.
This was before forward-facing sonar. Yeah, this is what we had to do.
That wasn't even the first time I slept at that boat ramp, so I didn't
before
even
college funding.
Yeah. Yeah. So whatever. It was still fun. Like we got our ass kicked, but not because we weren't around the fish. We just refused to do what we probably needed to catch them.
Yeah, you got to tell Will about your mental, because he already told me about his mental process because he was telling me about how his derb went. And he was like, I know the exact moment I screwed up. And that's what he needs to tell us now because he told it to me. And I went, yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, like I know, like I fucked up. Like I realized that and like I'm fine with it. But
yeah. You're going to tell this story, Pink, but I want to elaborate on. That's probably my favorite part about getting back from a bass tournament when you do bad is you're just like, you look back on this moment you're going to tell us of. And you're like, how did I ever just think that was, I think the other idea was better?
Sometimes
you know what I mean, though? Like you look back at it and you're like, how did I ever think that this was a good idea?
But like usually when you make that decision, it's because you're like, no, I have a better idea. Like we had nothing and we just were content with that. Right. But anyway, so whatever. We've fished this place a ton of times. We didn't practice or anything. I literally called Connor the day before the tournament because he was actually there. And I was like, at least tell me if it's going to be a bed thing or not. And he's like, well, there's not many beds. I was like, perfect. We're good. But whatever. It's this was on the Wapaka chain of lakes in like central Wisconsin. In the spring anyway, super clear body of water. And like you can see the bottom in like 15 to almost 20 feet. It's crazy, but it's piss loaded with bass. And yeah, we dumped in. We fished like kind of our normal milk run of spots. And there was fish all over the place. It got cold overnight though, that first whatever. And a lot of the fish had pulled out that were shallow. And we fished like our first spot and we were not catching them, but we were like running over all the fish. They were like suspended off they were just like 2 feet under the surface in like 25, 30 feet of water.
Sure.
And so we're like fishing it like we normally would fish in this break. And we're like, wow, they're definitely not on there, but we're like running them over like, wow, we should maybe fish this deeper, you know, and try to get a bite here. Well, my buddy Kaysen, who was my college fishing partner, that's who I was fishing this with. he's throwing this topwater bait that we were hoping we were going to get him rolling on. And like 5 minutes in, he takes this thing and just throws it out. It's just like a super slow topwater thing, whatever. Throws it out there, almost immediately gets a bite on it and didn't hook up or whatever. And then we fished like a little bit longer and never really committed to this topwater thing. And we were just like watching all these fish swimming around the boat and just continued to like fish the same line we were on. And we were just like seeing all these fish and we were like, yeah, fuck those fish. Like, we don't even want to catch those fish.
Sometimes you gotta stick to a program.
We just wanted to run this break, catch him on a jerk bait. Like, I wanted that bite. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do. And he was like, yeah, let's do that.
I've been there before. I do it sometimes when I'm guiding, even like you have something in your head and you say, this is gonna work. I'm gonna make it work.
I'm gonna force this to happen, even though it's absolutely not.
And then sometimes it doesn't work at all. And then you're like, wow.
And it didn't. It did not. So we ended up, because we were like, we're not finesse fishing. There's no 0% chance.
It becomes a point of principle.
It was. And so eventually started catching a few on a jerkbait, but they were like shorts. And I was like, well, this sucks. And then once the sun got up and all those suspended fish that we should have fished for and just blatantly ignored, got driven down by the sun. And we're like, well, that's probably not a good thing because now they're definitely not going to bite. And so we fished some docks, which we end up, tying up a Senko and the whole thing, and then start getting bites like right away. And I was like, I hate this. And snapped off about 25 fucking Senkos just because I like apparently can't skip a Senko for shit anymore. So that was cool. And then we go to whatever. We go back to the thing for the weigh-in or whatever, and then we're just like, there's a bar on the water, like right close to the weigh-in spot.
Perfect.
So we get a handful of guys and just drive the boats over there, and then we pretty much had that fishing day, and then we just went and demolished about 6 pitchers of strawberry margs at the bar.
That sounds awesome. I mean,
it was awesome.
Is good. Who cares? If you win or lose.
Yeah, we did see some cool stuff, like saw a couple sturgeon, which was cool in that really clear water. I didn't even really know there were that many sturgeon in there, but we ran across 2 of them on the shell, like in 2 feet of water, and they were like 6-foot sturgeon, which was pretty cool.
That's very cool. Yeah. So all in all, it was a great derby in my eyes.
I would say. I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, I think, and it was like, even if you this is the funny thing. I think because there was maybe 15 or so boats showed up, so it was like not a big event. Like, I've been to this before where there was a lot more people. But yeah, I want to say, because even like, how some of those like Tuesday nighters, Bart, are like, you put it like whatever, you pay the money, and like even if you win, it's not that much or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to say this one, like if you put in for the big bass pot, it was like $100 a boat. Okay. And if you
you got big bass, you got like $1,500.
No. Like tournament entry fee plus big bass was $100 per boat.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole all in $100.
Gotcha. I thought you meant big bass. I was like, I would have been throwing a fucking 8-inch glide bait all day.
But if you won the whole tournament, you won like $300.
Beautiful.
It's like,
how does that?
Like, I don't know.
How does that add up?
I mean, I did go to that college, and I was like, I think the math for this is not right. I'm not 100% sure here, but like, it was
supporting the club, I guess.
Yeah, it's like they must have had a hell of a party after. I was like, that's probably why they didn't want. None of the guys on the team even came out to the bar, which blew my mind. I was like, it was basically
what kind of sport is this anymore?
Dude, I'm like, what is going on here? Like, it's me and like
it's a dying breed. It's over. I mean, the times of good drinking, there's just not many left.
No.
It's done and it's over.
All these kids staring at their forward-facing sonar and actually catching fish and not drinking at the bar after.
I remember, back in my day when Hayes and I used to fish the Thursday nighters together, which we had a dominating run one year. Anyways, we did very well.
You guys did have one year that you did very
Game of the year, I think 2014 or 2015, summer of 2015 was. Listen to me talk like this.
It was 9 years ago.
But summer of 2015, we had an absolutely dominating run out of my Lund Rebel 1989 boat, 50 horse Yamaha on the back, newer 4-stroke. But we had a strict regiment for our Thursday night fishing drinking.
Mhm.
So we wouldn't crack the first beer until we caught our first fish. Then once we caught the first fish, then we allowed ourselves one. And then after that, we wouldn't do another until we got 5 in the boat, till we got a limit, which usually happened fairly quick. And then after that, it was just free game. But we did regiment a little bit at the front half. But then after that, you know,
say in the Brainerd Lakes area, it doesn't take very long to get those 5.
No, it really doesn't. But
yeah,
that's how,
fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
But we were regimented early, and then as the Derby went on, we, you know, especially if we had a big bag, which that summer we had a lot of them. You know, then we bring like, you know, a bottle of Southern Comfort out there with us, you know.
Like,
See,
this sounds
that's
smart.
I like that. See, we did like the pre-derb drinking sesh, and then because you were so hungover during the derb, we always had like, you had to earn food by like catching.
Sure.
So that was like, we'd go out the night before.
Yeah.
Because all of our club tournaments were on Saturdays. So obviously, Friday,
sure. Well, that
Friday night,
a Thursday night, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you go downtown and just like, you'd be like, we're just gonna have like 2, dude, and then like 6 rum and cokes in, and you're like, double, yeah. Oh, so like, obviously,
1:30, and you're like, God, I gotta be at that.
So then it's like, like go back to Cason's, and I'll just like put my rain gear on and sleep on the porch so you don't forget me, kind of shit. And then, like whatever, that was it. And then it was like, okay, once we got 5, you get a sandwich, you know? And like, we broke protocol during this tournament this past weekend. And I'm like, because we weren't catching them, and we had sandwiches, and we're like, rally sandwich. And we're like, we'll try it. Should have never done that. That never works.
That's true.
It was a 5 Alive, you know?
I haven't heard of a rally sandwich before.
I'll tell you what, they are not effective. So.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a fun derb, regardless.
It was a good time, and good to see some of the boys back and everything, and whatever. Went out there. We did catch some fish, so it wasn't like, you know, for nothing.
Right.
But yeah,
I forgot to mention, I guess I did shoot a turkey last weekend, so that was fun.
You did, boy.
And Joe did, and my brother did too. We actually doubled. It was awesome. So that was quite fun. I haven't killed a turkey in a couple of years, so it was fun to get out and do that. So
yeah, did you get him in pretty close?
Yeah, the story's pretty good actually. So we went and hunted. We got out there. Let's see. I guided that Friday, and then I had Saturday, Sunday off. So then Joe came up here to the barn, stayed here Friday night, and then Saturday morning we just left really early and drove. It was only an hour and a half from where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
So Saturday morning we go drive to the spot, and like we see some turkeys on Saturday, but like no action. But we're like, okay, there's turkeys in the area. So Sunday we go to the same place, get set up early, and sitting there in the morning, don't hear a thing, you know, nothing. I'm like, God dang, like no gobbles, no hens, nothing. And I hear like one gobble, like probably at least a half a mile away, and call at it, nothing. Gosh. So now it's like 8:00, and we're like, well, let's go for a little walkabout and go like look around into this other field, you know, just to see if there's anything in there. And like, so we're getting up to like walk over there, and luckily we didn't walk very far. We were set up on the edge of a field in the timber, and then we started walking like across the field, and Joe like looks over and he's like, oh shit. He's like, there's 3 turkeys right there. They're like 80 yards away, and they're like coming right towards us.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the field amongst the decoys, and I'm like, shit. I'm like, we can't make it back to the tree line, you know, where we were sitting. So we both just like lay on our bellies. We're like,
so you're in the wide open.
In the wide open. We're like 10 yards. The only thing between us and the turkeys are the decoys, and we're like 10 yards from the decoys. So we lay down. Joe calls at him a couple times, and I can't really see him, but he can kind of see him. And he's like, there's 2 toms. He's like, they're coming right in. I'm like, shit. I'm like, okay. I'm like, let's let him get in the decoys, and then we're gonna have to pop up, you know, to shoot them, because like there's too much grass.
Yeah.
You can't like, you know, prone them. So sure enough, they come right in, and they're like in the decoys, and we're like 12 yards away. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know, 1, 2, 3. So we jump, we just pop up. They freeze for like a second. I shoot mine, and then the other one kind of runs 5 more yards. Joe shoots his, and then we're both just like looking at each other like, oh my God, we just got so
That's
lucky.
so
Like
sick.
this was the luckiest thing of all time. Because had we have left 5 minutes earlier, we would have been 100 yards away from them, and they would have been in the decoys. Granted, had we left 5 minutes later, they would have been in the decoy. But it was one of those things where it worked out, and it was nice that it did.
Well, that's a killer story, dude.
I do have a hunting question for you guys as a novice hunter, aka as someone who has literally never done this.
Sure.
I just always notice with turkeys, I swear they're always shot in the middle of the day. Do you guys like get out there super early, or is it
this was at we killed them at 8:05 a.m. So I mean, it was
like,
pretty.
Is it a game that you have to be out there at like sunrise and stuff?
Yeah, that's the best time to hunt because you can at least
depends if you know where they are.
Yeah,
it's best to be there. Well, it can be best to be there in the morning. But if you don't, if you're just out there, because they move like all day, like they're constantly, they never just like sit there. But like if you know where they're at, it's best to be there in the morning because they're like up in the tree then. So you can get close to them and they're like not moving. And then you can like get them to come to you.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Which is how I got mine. Like I shot mine early in the morning, like pretty before 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Like
I much prefer shooting them in the morning. It's so nice because then I was back home by 11, 10, 11. Like that's the best. I love turkey hunting, but that's like one of my favorite parts is getting done early because you're just like, oh man, like the day has really just started, but you're
you're hyped up. You're like, let's go. Like, oh, let's go get breakfast. Like shit.
Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah. So big shout out to Joe, my brother Joe, because he found this spot and he pretty much guided me. So shout out brother Joe. That was pretty awesome. So
yeah, dude, the pictures were sick.
The world champ.
So good.
The world, yes, Joe.
People can't forget the world champ.
World champ took it home. So shout out to Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, that's a good story, dude. Have you what other fishing you been doing?
Well, I guided the last five days now. I think this was day 5. So trouting, fly fishing for trout, Missouri River. Fishing's been good overall. It's been last 2 days have been a little bit more inconsistent. Our water flows are starting to come up a little bit, spring runoff and whatnot. So there's a little more like color to the water and the fish, I think you're a little confused as to what's going on. But overall it's been good, kind of streaky. You'll go through a stretch where it's like really good and then it'll get kind of tough for an hour or two and then get good again. But all in all, it's been pretty good. So I'm off the next couple of days, which is nice, and then kind of back on. So,
what kind of flies are you dealing right now?
We're fishing a lot of really kind of small nymph type stuff. So there's a fair amount of like blue-winged olives out there, which is a kind of mayfly, and they're pretty small in size, like a 16 or an 18 for those that are into that kind of stuff. So fishing like maybe a 16 as your top fly and then an 18 as your bottom fly. And, fishing kind of not like a super deep rig, but not a super shallow rig, kind of a medium rig. And then in the afternoons, I have been getting them pretty shallow, which on like kind of a shorter nymphing rig, which is fun. I like fishing that shallower, faster, riffly water for the trout, but they're just not quite in that yet. The water temp's a little too cold, but they're getting there because then the trout fishing gets really fun when it's, they're in that shallow, fast stuff. Yeah. I just like that a lot more than the deep water, kind of slow, monotonous water. So
is this historic cicada hatch down south gonna happen up north?
No, we don't have. We have no. That's funny that you saw that though. They're certainly making a big deal of it down there. Like
they are, dude.
Double brood of cicadas hasn't happened since like Thomas Jefferson was alive. I'm sure the fishing down there will be super good, but
Hopper's making a comeback, baby.
Yeah, we won't get any of that noise. So
You're sure not going to be tying cicada. I don't even know how you technically say it.
No,
oh boy hasn't even seen one, dude. He's
we're not. There'll be no cicada action here on the Missouri River. But
I don't know. Maybe it's a pattern you need to get on, Bill.
There's none.
It paves the way in the trout community.
They would laugh at me out there if I had a.
You'd pull out your fly box, like, look at this shit.
Yeah, they would say, "Oh, there's
Fucking fly the
Will."
size of a $50.
Yeah.
Like, watch this shit.
Yeah.
It looks like
It
a
would be
bomber.
awesome if it worked. That would be so awesome because it's fun fishing flies that are big and you can see, but we're fishing a lot of small stuff right now. So, but
Dude,
yeah,
well,
fishing's good.
I will say I don't know why I've been like watching so much like fly stuff on Instagram lately. For
Well,
whatever
you should
reason.
come fishing with me, Ryan. You would
I
really
should.
like it.
I
Yeah.
know I would. I know
Yeah.
I would. I should.
I actually would
But,
probably
dude,
enjoy
You guys
it.
would love it. It's fun.
You seen that? Okay, I don't know. I've never done like I've done.
Well,
some
we know
fly
Hahner
fishing.
would love it.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Oh, yeah. for
He's
sure.
your local expert now.
He's a fly guy.
I see
he's
the
Mr.
pictures.
He's on the Sims staff. I mean, they're
He
all
is.
about it.
He's got the
Both of them.
haircut now too. I don't know. If
Yeah,
you've seen that.
he's so head over
Holy
heels into this.
shit.
I can't wait to see him living in a van out in Montana in the next few years.
Yeah. He'll be living in a barn like
Or
me.
like you said,
Anyways,
he's an Oregon guy, didn't you say? Or
Oh, yeah.
Washington?
Yeah, he's more PNW. He's kind of a
For
Pacific
sure.
Northwestern. What were you saying, Ryan?
I was anyway. I was saying okay. So I've been watching a bunch of fly fishing stuff, all kinds of like fly cinema stuff on Instagram,
Yeah.
whatever. You seen these shadow casting videos? You heard of
Yeah.
this? Okay, so I don't know that that's like a legit. I don't know. I don't want to talk shit about the fly guys yet because I'm like not in it
Not
enough.
something I tell my clients to do. Let's just say that.
But the videos are fucking incredible.
amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, fly fishing in general sets up so much better for cinematography than like, casting a 3/4 ounce football jig or something. I mean, it's sort of poetry in motion. So
I got to find this clip. So Bart, there's this thing, I guess, Bart, it's called shadow casting, I guess. I don't know. Basically,
is it that, or are you thinking like spay casting? Is it guys?
No. I'll explain this shit. I went
I know
down
what the shadow cast is.
So it's like presenting a fly above the water. It's like you're okay. I don't know what this fucking technique is. That's what it's saying. But the videos are sick because the trout actually like jumps out of the water to eat the fly.
And then the fly's not on the water.
No.
Yeah,
it is above the water.
I've seen some of these videos. I wonder where they're fishing, where they can get fish to do that.
I don't know, but so okay. So I'm like, oh, I don't think that much of it. I was like, dope video. Open the little caption thing. Explains the shadow casting thing. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. Open the comments section on this video, dude. There's like thousands of comments. I'm like, all right, I got to see what's up here. Like something went down in this comment section. And it is like, dude, all of these fly boys just tearing each other apart about what this shadow cast technique is and like how this is not it. And I can't believe they said that, dude. It's like there's thousands of comments about this shit.
It's amazing. I don't know if there's anything else that people get so worked up about fly fishing. I mean, it is like, dude, boy, there are some serious points of contention amongst the dry fly guys and amongst the Colorado guys, Montana guys, Wyoming guys, West Coast guys, the Southern guys, Tennessee, North Carolina. I mean, it's just crazy. And then, of course, you have saltwater guys, and I mean,
it's a competition to see who's the most pure.
It's a lot going on. Yeah, for me, I just like to row my boat and have a good time with my clients. So
yeah. See, I would have to come fly fish with you because I'm just like in the point now where like I like fly fishing. I think it's fun, but it's like also like if they're not eating a dry fly, I'm like,
wow. Oh, you would come if you come fishing with me, I will like make you fall in love with nymphing because when the nymphings get out here, man, you just whack the snot out of them.
Dude, I'd nymph it up. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, we'd proceed to destroy, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, fishing good. Now I'm like not super busy right now, but like it's about to be like June.
I was gonna say Memorial Weekend's got to kick it off for you, basically.
I think in June right now I have like maybe 3 days off in June. So I mean, we're about to be into it, which is good, but just sort of like enjoying this kind of 4 or 5 days a week thing until it really gets going. But busy's good in this business, so can't complain.
I don't know if I told you I got the first muskie of the season last week.
Oh yeah, I did see that muskie. That was a big
I don't think we chatted since then, boys.
No, I don't think so.
Slime on the boat.
Got her.
Yeah, northern Wisconsin. Went up north last weekend. That was right the day after that tournament.
Doing a little smallie fishing and accidentally found him.
I did. Yeah, I was doing a little jerk baiting. Pull out. Actually,
set the hook and you're like, oh boy.
It was so yeah. So this is a lake I caught a lot of muskies on I should say hooked a lot of muskies on during like the bass season. Okay. Yeah. Like, because you don't land them all the time, right? But I was like, before I even got there, I was like, got to probably have a good legit shot at hooking one here today. Pull up first spot. There was a handful of other boats out on the lake, and I was like, not trying to ruffle any feathers right away. So I just pull up. There's, you know how those Northwoods lakes are. There's like 6 spots, maybe.
Yeah.
There's 3, but there's 6 you could fish by. So roll up on this one rock point, and I'm like, okay, we'll just, give this a go here. I think second cast caught like a 4-pound smallie. I was like, that was cool. 5th cast, hooked this muskie. Like right on top of the rock point, like whatever, 2.5, 3 feet of water. And it was like threw up there. I think I jerked it like 2 or 3 times and it just locked up. I set the hook, one head shake, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a muskie for sure. Like, no doubt in my mind. But it was a very pissed off one. So the fight was long because it was just on like light line, whatever, on a jerkbait rod. Yeah, like 43 incher, really healthy looking one. It did spooge a bunch of eggs all over my boat though, which was kind of a bummer probably. But I mean, what are you gonna do? So, yeah. But it was cool. Whatever, got to catch one and let it go, and that was fun. But yeah, I'm going back up there this weekend though. Not muskie fishing, but
that'll be fun.
Yeah,
smallie should be full bore pre-spawn.
I think it's going to get ugly, dude. Yeah, I think it's going to be real good.
Real good. Should be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Bart? Other than, I know you fished that tournament, but you say you've been fishing a lot. I saw you were fishing kind of around where you're living now. Looked like you got into some smallies this weekend.
Yeah, I went to, I didn't get out super early or anything for opener because I was like, I don't need to do that. I just want to kind of explore around home. And my boat was still a disaster from getting home from the river and everything. Yeah. So I just bounced out to a lake kind of right by my house because I was like, all right, I want to find some places around my house where like I can go dump the boat in for an hour or 2 and just go fish for a little bit.
Yep.
So I went to a place close and I knew there was some smallies potentially in it, not a ton. But I was like, oh, I'll try to find some largies and just kind of started fishing around with a chatterbait. And all of a sudden I ran into just a monster school of pre-spawn smallies up in 2 feet of water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, totally accidentally. Caught one on a chatterbait and I was like, well, that's cool. I wonder if there's another one. And I threw back, caught another one. I was like, huh, another one? And I threw back, caught another one. I was like, maybe I should pull out the smallie gear.
Yeah.
And I pulled out like the Ned rig and stuff like that. And I sat there for about an hour just giggling. I was like, this is sweet. I don't know why they're here, but whatever. I'm not going to complain.
Well, that's cool. You got some smallies right close to the house.
Yeah. So caught a bunch of them and then went in. Then I had to drive down to New Prague for Mother's Day stuff. Then on Sunday, I took out my buddy Bolstad Pickles. If you guys have met him, college roommate.
Slept in his basement.
Yeah, that's right, Bill. You know Pickles. Yeah. He lives back in Minnesota now, but
I'm glad he doesn't live in that shithole house anymore.
Yeah.
What was the name of the town that was in?
It was on the suburbs of Milwaukee. I don't remember exactly what town it was in. But
it was like a ghetto-ass place. I remember that.
Yeah. It was, right after college. You're living cheap life.
I think the only place I ever met him was in your garage. It was multiple times, but it was always in the garage.
Me and Rello, that basement was so cold because it was concrete down there. We slept in our fucking ice armor bibs that night. I remember.
Yeah, they had a water bottle down there that was frozen in the morning.
I know.
It was, back in the TYO days, filming the voyage vlogs.
We were filming the tour, yeah.
Yeah, we were.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, I took him out and we went to another lake a bit further away looking for some smallmouth. Caught a bunch of real little ones.
Yeah.
But Pink, you would like first spot of the day, I pull up to these big boulders and I'm looking down at live. I'm like, there's definitely a substantial amount of rough fish here. but I don't know if they're smallmouth on those boulders or if this is all legitimately rough fish. And Pickles doesn't fish much, so I just got him dragging a tube. And all of a sudden, he just locks up, and I'm like, oh, he's for sure on a boulder. And then I just hear, and I was like, oh, fuck. This has got to be a carp or something.
Something big.
Yeah. I was like, this is not a smallmouth. There's no way. And we chased it around for a while. It ended up being like a 20, 25-pound carp.
Oh, God.
Ate the tube, too, like in the mouth. And it took forever to land it on a spinning rod. He got done, and he was like, man, I'm tired.
Did you even have a net, or what? Did you just try to grab this thing?
No, I got it up next to the boat and grabbed the pliers and just popped the hook out.
But they do not like being grabbed, dude.
No, because I knew I was like, I had the net ready, and I was like, I don't want to net this thing. This thing's just gonna break everything.
It's just gonna go ballistic. Yeah.
Yeah. So just tired it out, got it kind of laying by the boat, and got the hook and popped it out. But still, that was quite the start to the day. Like, still got your morning coffee hitting.
Got the juices flowing a little bit.
Locked up. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Hell
Yeah, other than that, just caught a bunch of like 12-inch smallmouth. So yeah,
Nice.
then other than that, hung around here getting work done.
Nice.
Word.
Well, that's good. I mean, I feel like anytime you get like people out that aren't consistently fishing, it's always a good time because like crazy shit always happens.
Yeah, well,
It
and he
seems
was
like.
just cool to be out. So, and I was just exploring. For me, dude, it's just so fun right now. Like, I've literally never fished like all of these lakes. A couple of them I've fished a little bit, but right now it's all exploratory. So every place I dump into, I'm like, this is sweet, because for the last 10 years, like every tourney Tuesday or whatever, we dump in, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably gonna go down here.
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, there's probably a better spot somewhere. Let's go find that one.
Yeah, just keep fishing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's sick. Did you see these northern lights? I know that was like a big fucking deal on Instagram.
Dude, I did not. I think it's all ploy.
It's a ploy. It's fake news.
Photoshopped them.
Fake news.
No, I don't know, because me and Alyssa went out, and like there were people posting pictures of them in Clearwater.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't see anything. And then like drove out to like darkness. Still people posting pictures, and I'm like, I see like the wispy, because like before you see the colors, it looks like wispy clouds.
Yeah, kind of smoky looking.
Yeah, and I could see that, and I'm like,
so you kind of
where are the colors? But like all the people who were posting pictures, you could only see them if you got your camera settings set correctly, and you could see them through your phone.
Right, like a long exposure type thing.
Exactly. That's the only
where
way
it's
you
like
could actually
super
see them.
green. Yeah.
Until it was like 2 a.m, but at that point I was in bed. So
yeah.
All right. I did some viewing, but it was interesting because I know it was supposed to be like good. It was like 1 to 4 a.m. was supposed to be like prime time. And I was in Hudson, and I was like in town, like everything was like lit up and everything. And it was like 9:30, and it was like balling out, like right there, like really, really good. And then it was like, oh, maybe we should go like check out like somewhere dark. We're like literally on the street where all the lights are. Drive like 10 minutes to where there's like no lights or whatever. And it was like fine, but it was not as good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 9:30, it was like, this is dope. Go to like,
I think we must have missed it by like 10 or 15 minutes of when it was like real good.
Yeah, it was fun though. It was sweet. I don't know. I never just drove around looking for that. So, but yeah, of course, then on Instagram, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like everyone's posting all this stuff. And then you got these like guys in Alaska that are like, look at this. And you're like, okay, yeah, well. These dudes are getting like sunburned from how bright the northern lights were. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I know it was a big, like, dude, everyone was talking about it like all weekend, I think. But it was cool. I mean, I don't know how often it's like good. I guess I never even like attempt to go check it out. But
yeah, I don't know. Oh, we have a guest.
Well.
Oh, the turntables have turned. Hello, gentlemen.
The Fly Lord himself.
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
Did
Mr.
Sims
Barb.
give you that haircut, or is that?
No. See that? See that? Went to a real barber shop. Yeah.
Wow.
They actually had to buzz us in. It was that exclusive.
Oh, it was a
Okay.
buzz in, buzz out.
Were you on the list?
No.
Oh
No. The guy had a spot open. He took he had a toke of something, and he's like, "I'll fit you in." I'm like, "All right."
Seems legit.
Get on down.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic job over there at the barbershop in Stevens Point. Love it.
Wow.
What was the name of it? Can we plug it here?
I'm pretty sure it was one of those down low type deals because
There wasn't a sign or anything.
No.
Was this like a happy ending situation or
nothing like that. I walked in and so they buzzed the door so no one can get in or out without buzzing the door.
or
walk
out?
in.
Are you sure you weren't participating in a drug deal of some sort?
Who's to say?
I don't know what goes down.
The story's
there.
still
I have no
brewing.
idea what's going down there. But you walk in and like the outside, it looks, like a Midwest diner that hasn't had a paint job in about 40 years. But it was something. And walked in, and there's just like tequila bottles and whiskey bottles everywhere. And there's like 2 flat screen TVs. One is playing NBA, and the other is like blaring Kevin Gates and the Kevin Gates music video of some album that he has. I'm like, we're going to get lined up today, boys. This is going to be a great trip.
Are you sure you didn't get your hair cut at Graffitis or what?
It basically was that. I'm sure it's the same fellas that own Graffitis or Icon or whatever's in point now.
Lids.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's fantastic.
Lids.
Fantastic.
oh my God.
Did the eyebrows, line the cheek up. Oh.
Was it a lids?
Dude,
Oh
those
my
things
God.
pop up everywhere. You never know.
Unreal.
Jesus.
Oh man.
That would explain the new yellow hat. Come on.
Yeah, hey,
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Does it
Yeah,
have
pop-
your initials
pop
on
the- pop the lid off.
Oh
bro.
my
Let's-
God, he
Bro,
really
you-
is
Oh
one
my-
of you now,
And it's a
Bill.
corduroy hat.
Absolutely it is. With the rope.
You
See the
have
rope?
You
Yep.
gotta move to Montana.
Oh, I'm in. I was looking at a Tacoma the other day. It had the full racks on it too.
Did it have the rod tubes?
Yeah, 275,000. Honestly, it was a.
She's young.
Just
honestly-
rolled in, yeah.
Honestly, it was a steal. It was only going for 37,000.
You gotta buy that.
2000.
You gotta
2009.
get that. You gotta
Really
get that.
solid deal.
That's
Give me-
perfect.
You got to get a pass the Barb trip lined up with Hahner going to visit Bill and just film it. Hahner being
You
like,
guys
all
are
right,
all
I'm
more
ready
than
to
welcome.
fly.
You can all stay here. I mean,
We'll
there's
go to the
plenty of
barn,
space.
dude.
Stay at the bar.
Oh my God.
Come to the barn, boys.
All right, if you're listening to this right now, first make sure you're subscribed to this whole shit show here. But drop in the comments what we should do here. We should all go out and visit Bill at the barn, or should we plan like a off-grid?
Well, this is pretty
I
cool.
wouldn't survive. This is the lowest off grid I could go. Is the
I mean,
barn.
we're calling the barn is on the grid now, boys. It's got
It is.
Wi-Fi.
I got Wi-Fi. So,
But maybe it's just us, and we just take Monk up into the mountains, dude, and we just vanish.
we could all just ride with Monk. We'll let Monk decide where to go.
It'll be like the Hobbit.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sure, just like
never seen it, but sure.
Lord of the Rings.
No, I've
Good
never
God.
seen it. Okay,
Oh, boy.
get us back on agenda.
I'm sorry. All right. Well, now that Hunter's here, well, let's get a little Hunter. What I'm gonna regret asking this, but what have you been up to?
Getting lined up.
Getting lined up.
Are you still an electrician?
I'm about to be a barbershop. Kind of, hang around guy.
Kind of a hangout, kind of a glue
Kind of a
guy.
hangout
Kind of Well, I knew.
a
honestly,
regular
Glue
dude.
guy for the barbershop.
Regular.
honest to God, I knew I was in. Oh, this is the funniest thing. So I knew I was in the right place because a couple of regulars came in, and it was like this 6'1", glasses, like redhead, nerdy looking kid, and he comes up to the one like main guy, like Mexican, Hispanic dude. He's got a neck tattoo, like flat brim hat, like cutting hair and stuff. Stereotypical, like barbershop. And he comes up, he's like, yo, what up, man?
And just a clean dap. I bet it was
Just a clean dap.
Mhm.
And like, this is Stevens Point. This is a side of Stevens Point they do not see. They do not write about. This is something else.
You
That's
cracked the
awesome.
code, dude.
It's fantastic. I'll be going there every month now.
That's 4CF for sure.
$35.
$35.
Yeah.
To look like
Eyebrow
that.
trim.
Oh, the
line-
beard,
the
too.
whole deal. $35.
The full lineup. That's probably
Fantastic.
a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and you got a free beer out of it or a whiskey.
Oh, seriously?
Not joking.
Well, now we're all right.
Say no more.
All right, forget the Montana thing. We're going to Point.
Yeah, we're going to Point. We're all getting haircuts.
We're doing a podcast from the barbershop, aka
That would be
Lids.
so hard. That would be awesome.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know if we could have cameras in there, but
We'll just bring the mics. No
We'll just do
cameras.
audio
yeah.
only.
No cameras.
but
No cameras.
no,
Hunter-
what have I been up to? So I planted a garden the other day. That was quite the
What
was
the
quite the
fuck has
ordeal.
happened to you?
I don't know. I got a new haircut, man. I got a new haircut.
Cody,
What
these
did you
guys
put
are
it-
gonna make money. I just got my garden going
See,
as well.
dude,
Whoa,
it
wait.
is something else.
I
You
think there's gonna
trout
be-
guys.
There's going to be dramatic differences here. Will, tell us what's in your garden.
Peppers, cucumbers for pickles, tomatoes, and maybe one other thing. Cilantro, maybe. I think that's it. That's all I
Okay,
could.
these seem like good decisions. Cody, what is in your garden?
Cilantro, peppers, green pepper, orange pepper, yellow pepper, hot pepper, jalapeno pepper. Dude, yeah. We weren't fucking around.
I'm gonna be a-
onions, red
I-
onions, yellow onions. We got it all. We got it
expect
all here,
updates.
baby.
I don't have enough.
Tomatoes.
I'd like to do onions. That would be fun, but I ran out of space in the planters.
They do take
Honestly,
up some room.
Bill, I don't know what the hell we're doing. We put it in the ground and we're watering it, but
That's
we
all
put
you
the
got to do.
We put the compost down. We're hoping the best happens.
Hey, you let the good Lord do the rest.
Yeah. Yep. And peace
You've done
be
your
with you,
part.
tomato plant, and peace be with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you-
Fantastic.
Are you
I'm
on the hook
excited.
for weeding? Are you doing all the weeding? Who's doing the weeding?
Actually, not a whole lot of so we saw that there's some rabbits around at this community garden that we picked a spot out. So
Got
we
a plot.
planted. We got a little plot. We got
Okay.
it's like a 12 by. It's like a 14 by 4 or 12
That's a
by
pretty,
4. One.
that's a
That's
pretty
not bad.
sizable.
It's a
Does
pretty,
does
pretty
it have a-
substantial.
Is there a spigot? How are you watering this thing?
No, so in the community garden, it comes like furbished with tools to dig and do
this
whatever
is
you need.
bougie. This is like
That
We
sounds
paid $25.
this
for
is like
plot,
a
I'll let
guided
you know.
gardening.
We paid $25 for this plot. I have you know.
Okay.
and,
Premium.
and yes, they have like 55-gallon drums of water out there. So you just like dump the spigot or like the buckets in and just kind
That
of
sounds
rain.
awesome.
They're like
It's
drought.
fantastic.
Never heard of her.
It's fantastic.
I mean, you got irrigation on site.
Oh.
It's good to
Mhm.
go.
Oh, and the funny, of course, I mean, this should go without saying. So the guy who we met there when we were scouting out our plot,
Naturally.
his name is Forrest. Don't know his last name, but he was out there, and I had like a Sims hat on or something, and he's like, big fly fisherman, huh? I'm like,
Yeah.
like.
What did you
No,
say? Did
I
you
like-
say, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? That's another venture I'm about to go on. But I do fish a lot, and I do work with Sims a little bit. He's like, I'm like, so you're a fly fisherman? He's like, yep, this fly company, fish the Brule, go up to Alaska, go to Montana. I'm like, that guy knows some gardening. That guy
Yes,
knows how to
That's
garden.
right. That's
And then-
Forrest. And with a name like that,
And then, sure as shit, he comes out with this like tool in a schedule. He's like, I'm going to tell you now, if this is your first time gardening in one of these plots, you're going to need this tool. I'll let you have it. I'll let you borrow it. And here's the plot book on the plants that, go in these slots and stuff. But it's a 12 by 12, like efficient gardening. Tomato plant, pepper plant, onion. Use it. Whenever you're done, get it back to me. But that Sims deal, I could use some G4s. I'm like, all right, buddy.
Okay.
That's awesome. A community.
No, yeah, it was
that's pretty cool. Well, I'm
Yeah.
excited, Cody, for our respective gardens. These guys I don't know.
I'm excited to see the bounty of this,
I don't know.
really.
Mine looks pretty fantastic right now. Not gonna lie to you.
I
was pretty proud of it.
Well, let's take photos each. We'll take.
Should we maybe do like
He can
we'll
post them on the gram.
Yeah, maybe like a
Weekly
bi-weekly
update.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Okay.
That's a good.
All right.
That's good.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
well,
a decent
shit.
batch.
Mine doesn't look that good yet.
Can't
It's
even hate on that. I mean,
pretty raw. So
I don't know
Look
what
at
I'm doing.
Hahner. Gets
I
out
don't
of
know what I'm
muskie
doing.
fishing, and he's got all this time for all these things.
he's got a farm. He's like, it's incredible.
We're working man now.
yeah, it's not much, but it's honest
work.
It really is unreal.
I'm half tempted to just fire up one of these Camel Blues right now, right in the barn.
I'm saying yes.
I'm not gonna, but
I'm saying that's a fantastic idea, Will.
We'll see.
Hunter,
Well,
you didn't
we gotta
answer the
progress.
one question that people for sure want to know. Are you still an electrician, or are you done?
Oh no, we're for sure still an electrician. Yeah,
Still
we're still doing that.
Still
We're still
powering
doing
the
that.
world.
Yep.
No good work stories as of late. We haven't gotten many snaps or updates.
Oh shoot. Forgot about that. So today actually was kind of a funny one. So we're working in this brand new. It's like we're working in Stevens Point. We're building this new mid-state technical college, but it's all dedicated to apprenticeships, like welding, plumbing, electrical. It's just dedicated to that. So it's like this big. There's people taking pictures of this thing because it's like a state-of-the-art building for this apprenticeship class, like classes, whatever. Well, today we were finishing up doing some like add-ons that they asked of us because desk had to be moved or like a machinery was moved to a different spot, whatever. And we add like an outlet here or a data jack there, simple stuff. But a pigeon got into like the building, right? And so that pigeon was like shitting everywhere. So guys are like trying to like go up in lifts and like bang on ductwork to get it out of there or whatever. Well, one of the landscapers had a great idea. He's like, well, man, I got a CO2 powered pellet gun at home. And like, oh yeah, man, yeah, like that would be funny. Like thinking it's just like some stupid joke, whatever. Oh no, the man brought a gun on the premises.
Oh, like he went home.
Yeah, he's like, where is this motherfucker? Like, oh no, he's gone. He's like, all right. He didn't want that heat.
Oh my god.
That was a pretty solid one. And then honestly, the landscapers in general are just probably some of the most funny people I've ever been around because they're usually like minimum, if you're going to be a landscaper, if you want to get on a job, you got to have at least 3 DUIs, probably 6 months of jail time.
You can't have
So, like,
a
solid resume.
Yeah, solid resume.
Yeah.
Fantastic conversation with these gentlemen.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the best. Like
Wow.
you're talking about ex-wives, baby mamas, like full 9 yards. You want to get educated on the world? You talk to a landscaper.
They'll set you straight.
They will set you straight and tell you what's what. You want to know how far minimum wage goes? They will tell you.
They will- yeah. Oh my god, that's good. Are you almost done with that job then?
Yeah, it's pretty much finished up. Like it's the signs are up. It's just kind of we're doing their like piddly work at this point in time. But it looks like the next couple months will be pretty close to home again, which is nice. Probably for the next not couple months, but probably the next year and a half, 2 years, which is all right.
Way better.
Not having to travel so much. I'm sure I'll have to go over to Menominee again in June, but that's about the brunt of it. But as far as fishing goes, boys, it's been fairly decent. We've got out in the boat a couple times. I made a trip down to Geneva, Lake Geneva, to try my hand and muskies down there, and that was pretty interesting. Not as far as the fishing aspect, but when we rolled up to the campsite, it was like 11 o'clock at night, and the two camp sitters that were there that like, took over the state park or whatever, managed it, whatever, two women. The one woman was rather sober. The other, quite not. Quite not. We established our beachhead in our tent, and we were setting down to rest our heads for the night, and I could hear like slamming on my truck, slamming on like tin. I'm like, what is that? And then I must have not locked my doors, and I heard my door open, and I hear this lady, what the fuck? Who the fuck would park their fucking truck here? I'm gonna call the fucking cops. And the other lady's like, Saddle, whoa. Like, let's just go to bed. We're gonna take you to bed. Not a big deal. And I could hear my truck just getting trashed. So I walk out there, and I'm like, whoa, like we just got here a second ago. This is the only place to park. Like, do you want me to park somewhere else? Like, no one was around. And the one lady, sober lady's like, no, it's fine for the night. Just leave it there. And the other lady like comes like a creature walking over. She's like, you motherfucker. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, if you want me to move it, I'll move it wherever you want to. Like, we just set up camp there. We got here late. I don't know the drill. Like no one's at the station. Just kind of parked. We're gonna get up early and go fishing. She's like, I don't give a fuck who you are. And I'm like, whoa, I'm calling the fucking cops. Like this treacherous woman. I'm calling the cops on you. You're getting arrested. You're going to jail. I'm like, all right. And the sober lady like escorts her back to the RV, and I'm like, all right, let's go back to the tent. Like, this is done. Sure enough, she must have figured out how to hit 9 and 2 ones on her cell phone.
Oh my
God. And
God.
A cop rolls through and is like scouting the perimeter, wondering where this call came from. And this lady walks out, and my girlfriend's like, is that a cop? I'm like, yeah, that's a cop. And you could see the Skeletor woman just kind of doing like the around the world type deal, like, and I'm trying to listen to what they're saying. She's like, well, he was parked on the grass, and it's like, and I'm just about to walk out there, and I see her just fall down like all on fours in front of the cop. I'm like, no, I'm good.
I think this is handled.
I think this is handled. Yeah. So that was my last fishing trip. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Quite the campsite host, though. I would say that's probably right up there.
It was a good bender, because the next morning she smiled, waved at me, had a great conversation, and no idea what had happened. I'm like,
yeah, beauty.
It was a good night for you, huh?
Sounds like it.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to.
Thanks for bailing on that derby, though. It was nice to not have to like hang out with other people and stuff like that.
Yeah,
really,
you're
when it came
welcome.
down to it.
Actually, I ran. Okay. Oh, well, weird other convenience. Ran into the guy who won the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zigger, ZY. I'm trying to, something ski. Z starts with a Z, ends with a ski.
Got it.
But him and his brother or him and his buddy won it with like 15 pounds or something. He was one of the fire. Yeah, I've met him a couple times. He's a younger guy. He walked into MSTC like today as a fire, like he's an EMT guy, firefighter, and I'm like, hey. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, he was like one of the only people that caught him. So that's
yeah. He said we briefly chatted about it, but that was good.
Well, you missed out, so
I heard it did hurt. It stung a little bit.
Right on. All right. Well, let's get into it. We haven't done this segment in a while, so we're bringing this one back. Let's get into a little bit of what in the world is going on. Does anybody have a good one to fire things up here? We've been blatantly leaving this one off the schedule.
I can lead her off. Okay.
Oh, boy.
You go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to lead her off kind of a little bit more of a generality, but
Love it.
We talked about it in the winter when it was potentially going to happen about the state records being reset. And then we did not follow up on it. They did get reset in Minnesota.
Yes.
Like
Heard
all the
about this.
ones, I think it was post 1980, Pink?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
I know we talked about it
this
briefly. Yeah, right after. Maybe you weren't even on when we did, but we did hit on it. But I think since then, the interesting thing, like I haven't heard any updates.
No, so I don't know if the word is out. I think everybody's just like, yeah, these records still aren't attainable. It's like, no, they are now.
Because I think when we initially talked about it, because we went in and looked, because now they have like a minimum.
Yeah, there's a minimum. Like smallmouth is like 7 pounds. I think
there has
crappie's
not been
2.5 pounds. Like I know Reesgraff's caught the state record crappie like 10 times now,
but
he
I
just
don't,
hasn't taken it in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There hasn't been like a flood of people submitting things, which I think is interesting. Like I thought for sure there would be, at least for some of it. Well, I mean, I guess technically the season just opened though, so maybe
for some of them, I still think it'd be a great idea. Whenever Sobe gets on, I think it'd be a great idea for like a film series or something for the summers, just going out. Try to catch like the yellow bullhead or like whatever those things are. I think that'd be super fun.
Yeah, I agree because I think there's like quite a few. Like it's like 20 or something.
There's a bunch of them, and they added a bunch of catch and release records now too.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and I haven't seen any new ones of that. I guess I can look quick and see because they do update that pretty regular.
Yeah, so people just got to get in on that. But that was just, I mean, generally something I wanted to bring up because someone messaged me about it the other day, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it happened. So
are you gonna try to chase one of these crazy ones?
I mean, if I have some time, I would go for the smallmouth one. I don't think it's going to line up very well though for a smallmouth one this year. I think they're spawning pretty early.
But they added smallmouth to the catch and release one too for just length. So
could go for that.
Yeah.
We're going between like 22 and an eighth and 22 and 3/8.
Yeah.
So they add. I just pulled up the page here. So they added 18 species to the catch and release record thing, and I think previously there was only 4.
It was like, what was it? Pike.
It was muskie, pike, sturgeon, and something else.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so they added a bunch of them and they reset a bunch of them. So I'm kind of excited to see what starts coming out. As long as, I mean, people realize it and start taking. I mean, the only unfortunate thing is they have to take them in. I wish there was a better process for it.
Well, the catch and release one, you don't.
Yeah, I know, but like still like getting the weight and you know what I mean, the whole thing. Like I still wish there was a better process for the whole thing.
Yes,
because the biggest thing in Minnesota is you can't transport a fish in a live well with water.
Right.
So that's like, you know, that's the biggest thing. You can't transport water. Whereas in other states, like that's not a thing. So and they're able to take it in, do it, and then take it back or whatever they want to do with it. So
have you seen these like stories? Like I've read. Not that they're like super recent, but several I'll say like in the past year, where somebody has caught a state record fish, not in Minnesota specifically, but just in general, and they wanted to release it, and they like went above and beyond to like contact the DNR or whatever, and like, you know, explain the whole situation and like weigh the fish, do all the stuff, use a scale, and then get the scale like certified after the whole thing. And then they would like not be granted the state record because they weighed it in the boat. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Like because they weren't standing on shore, it's not legit. Even
Yeah.
though it's like what's the difference? I don't know. I just thought that was weird. That like there's like, is that a thing still?
There's a whole process to it. I mean, I just wish there was a bit of a better for being able to release it. But either way,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what comes out of it. I mean, I know we'll probably be going after that crappie record next winter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Because it's almost like to the point now where the window is almost passing to like get one of the right size. Like once the spawn is done, I don't.
Yeah, no, it'll be really hard.
Yeah, so then it'll literally be like a winter.
If you could bring one at like a smallmouth in April in Minnesota, you would see it. Like you probably would have seen the 8 broken if you could bring it in April, but you can't. So
right. Well, and we don't even have a catch and release season, so so until they reinstate that or put that in place,
which I know they've been having meetings. I know there's been guys having meetings, so hopefully that goes somewhere. Because I mean, I sat at my house for 2 months with open water right down the street, going, man, it'd be cool if I could go bass fishing.
Yeah. Close the season, but then it's open pretty much during the spawn, which is like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the whole thing too. There's so many people who argue about it's to protect the spawn. It's like, dude, that's not.
The season opens before they spawn, and then everyone
like
goes,
literally the season opened, and I went out on Saturday, and I was like, I'm gonna go catch pre-spawn smallies. I went out on Saturday, caught pre-spawn smallies. Sunday went out, started looking around. I was like, shit, they're starting to make bets.
And you're like, they're protected.
Yeah, I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to fun fish and catch them on bed. So I saw them and I was like, wow, see if there's anything around here. And guess what? There wasn't. So I was like,
then you caught them off the bed.
No, I caught one 12-incher and I was like, nah, I don't need to do this. And I left.
Yeah.
Like I've caught enough of these lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was one of the coolest things from Wisconsin that they actually did, is to open the catch and release season to like whenever you wanted to fish.
And that's only been a couple years though, because I remember
it's only been a couple of years.
Me and Bart went the first year you could.
Yeah, and it was a ball.
Spring. Yeah.
Oh, like the largemouth thing up there, like that was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Like, not to mention the smallmouth, but everything about it was amazing.
Yeah. No, it's great. And just hopefully we're one of the only states, I think, that still have a season like that that's closed.
Full of walleye
For
fishing.
bass. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is. So you're not wrong there. But okay. Yeah. Will, what did you have? You had one there.
Did you guys hear about these guys that got they were in Mexico, I think in the Baja, and they were like surfing and they got murdered? Like,
I think I did hear about this on a different podcast.
These 3 dudes, I think 2 of them were Australian, the other one was maybe American.
Were they one of them an athlete?
I don't know. They were surfing. They were like surfing in the Baja in Mexico, and then they like disappeared. They didn't find them for like a couple of weeks, I think, and then they found like their bodies in the bottom of this well. But they think the last I had checked on it was the reasoning for why they got killed is because these guys wanted the tires off of their truck.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Oh my god.
These poor guys just like surfing the Baja, and then they were all 3 of them were found dead in the bottom, and they were shot. They were all riddled with bullet holes. But
oh my god, I did not hear about this. I feel like I should have though.
Yeah,
I did. I did hear about it.
Pretty big news story. But yeah, bummer for those dudes.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And that's where you get freaked out a bit of international travel.
A bad deal. Well, yeah, Mexico. I mean, of course. Come to Argentina.
Mainly Mexico,
Yeah, it's beautiful. You have nothing to worry about.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, seriously though. I mean, the cartel runs Mexico. I mean, they are, and I don't know if this was cartel related. I don't think it. They claim it wasn't, but I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like a soft story, though. Oh, we just wanted their tires, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
No
I don't know.
Yeah, no bueno for those
No,
amigos.
no
But
bueno.
yeah, a bummer deal for those boys for sure. So
damn.
Careful if you're heading down to the Baja. If you're going,
yeah, maybe pump the brakes on Baja for.
I don't know. Yeah,
or at least get some
tough luck.
Get a shitty rental, I guess.
Those boys got a bad break. There's no doubt about that.
Well, what do you even say to that? It's like, I mean,
I don't know. I mean, they must have had some really nice tires. I think it's crazy. Why wouldn't you just steal the whole truck, not just the tires?
Probably Michelin's.
Could be Michelin's. Could be
nice.
Yeah, I don't know. BFGs maybe.
Ooh, yeah, I could see it.
Oh.
Maybe that's some sidewall tread.
I would have killed someone for some.
Probably
BFGs.
10 plies. I mean,
3 people though.
Yeah, 3 dudes whacked.
God,
and I mean, 2 of these guys were like, you're right, Adam. I think one of them was like, some sort of former professional athlete.
I thought I heard about it on a sports podcast I was listening to. They were talking about how it was just a crazy, sad story.
Mm-hmm. So bummer deal on that. Didn't mean to drag the pod down, but that's
no, a lot of hype in that story.
Yeah,
thanks, Bill.
But that's,
he normally brings in the murder stories. Remember the Idaho?
Well, and that trial hasn't even happened yet. They keep putting it off, but that's whatever. When it starts happening, we'll tune in. So,
Hahner, did you have a what in the world's going on?
Not necessarily like what is going on, but I did see this Instagram reel that came across my desk. My assistant showed it to me. It was a humpback whale actually swallowing 2 kayakers.
What?
Shut up.
I will show you.
Can you send
Cut to the clip?
Yeah,
show like
this
legit. I don't know about this.
Legitimate.
Did it spit them out?
All on GoPro. They had GoPros on their head.
Dude.
All right, so ready? They lived because they got
I'm ready.
There's the clips.
Okay, hang on.
Run it back.
Wait.
What is happening?
Just wait. Wait till it slow-mos. Wait.
This just seems very inconclusive.
This is them getting eaten.
This is podcasting.
I don't know, dude.
Oh, they're in there.
All right.
They are in there.
Hold me
and they
down.
got spat out.
Hold me down.
They got spat out by Moby fucking Dick, dude.
All those birds are like, you see that shit?
And then the whale was like, I ain't about this.
I don't know. That kind of piqued my interest. I'm like, a man got eaten by an actual fish.
Well, I think we need more details here. I don't know, man.
Rested in the mouth, not necessarily eaten.
Like, could we get them on the pod?
Sucked on?
I don't know, Bart. You go down by a humpback whale in the mouth of one. I'm thinking I'm fish food at that point.
I don't know.
All of a sudden you pop up, you're like, did that just happen?
Yeah. No, it's fine. Oh. Yeah, like your partner's like speaking like Dory.
The GoPro clip is not convincing, but the one that films from far away is for sure. Oh, like, there's no way you dump that footage. You're like, this is so sick.
Okay, I am sending this to you right now.
I'm going frame by frame,
and you are going to see exactly what I'm saying.
Us analyzing a video on a podcast is probably the best form of podcasting we've ever done.
Yeah, this is
why the people come here.
I don't know, man.
Podcasting right now.
Is this
it's
clip
like black hair.
From, like,
they call it radio
ago, too, isn't it? It's like old.
I don't know.
You don't know.
All right. Well, Hahner brought us a reel.
Incredible.
That's all I got.
It's great.
I've been gardening, dude.
All right, Pink. What do you on the gardening, dude?
Got a plot.
All
Pink, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to preface this by saying this was in Florida.
Okay.
But naturally.
So it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
So this is a headline. So that, like, I try to follow some of like these different outdoor pages. This one actually hit Outdoor Life. So some of these tend to be interesting, but some of them aren't. But this one caught my eye because the headline is literally Florida HOA president arrested for allegedly pulling a gun on kids fishing in his neighborhood, throwing away their tackle.
Good, he
And
got arrested.
it goes on to say, so, and here, I'll show you this because this is the guy's booking photo here.
He
Seemingly
looks like a guy who would
also,
fine.
Yeah, he
who
looks
would
like
pull
a
a gun
guy
on
who
some
would do
children
that.
fishing.
Yeah,
Looks like my neighbor.
But yeah, I guess
He's
yeah.
a good guy.
but yeah,
A buddy of
yes.
mine.
But anyway, yeah. So basically, some kids were fishing in like a pond in like an apartment complex thing or whatever, and this guy who's apparently the HOA president came out, just fully armed to tell them to get off of the property, and I guess they were like young, like not like it's not like these were not that it matters really, right? But anyway, so they went through. I'm just trying to find the one part here that was kind of caught my eye. But yeah, so the guy. Apparently, I don't know if there's video evidence of this or whatever, but the guy pled not guilty, and they were like, "Well, you're guilty." So they arrested him.
that's good.
And yeah, so I guess he's going in the clink for a bit for that. I don't know, but yeah. Here's the statement. They said. So keep in mind, these kids were 10 years old.
You little son of a bitch.
Yeah. So the statement from I'm trying to remember. Okay. Yeah. So the statement was to the mother of the 10-year-old child there is that the statement from like their spokesperson said a gun clearly should have never been pulled on them. Was what this was like how they were describing the incident and saying like, yeah, we fucked up. We probably shouldn't have done that. Like I feel like
clearly shouldn't have been pulled on them.
This is Officer Farva. Carl Ramrod.
Yeah. But I guess like the thing goes on to say basically that these kids like fish there all the time. Like they get dropped off, like by their parents to go fishing there, like all the time. And then finally just this one day, the guy was just like, you know what? Getting her out. Gonna let these kids know. But I was just like, it felt like a very Florida thing, but at the same time, like, because that's probably one of the places that people fish like ponds like at the most. In like states
that
like Florida.
type of, I mean, I've heard of that type of, not with a 10-year-old, but I've heard of that type of stuff happening with guys fishing docks in Minnesota. People coming out with a gun and being like, you should leave.
Like pulling a gun out to make them not fish their dock?
Yes. Jesus. It's happened a couple times in Minnesota. Those people have gotten arrested because then the person leaves the dock and calls and goes, yeah, the one with the red and white canopy.
Yeah,
it's him.
That house.
Yeah, it's literally him.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. That always gets me. I mean, it sucks that it was like kids. It sucks that it happens at all. But like, I don't know why people get so fired up about that. It never made sense to me because like I've only had a few instances, not where anyone pulled a gun out, but like that, like someone came out all pissed off that we were like fishing by their dock even or whatever. Because I'd fished some ponds like that in Florida and been definitely asked to leave, but not like aggressively like that.
Yeah.
Like my buddy lived in Tampa. We did that all the time. We just like go and like definitely trespass like on some of those apartment places or whatever. But like usually it's some Karen that's like, get off of here. And you're like, all right, Dan.
Yeah. You're like, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would deal with that.
I had one more that I had sent this to Pink a while back. I texted it all to you guys. Hahner, you would laugh at this because you've been to Texas a fair amount of times.
Yes.
But there was a big bass splash down on Sam Rayburn at the end of April, and Texas game wardens came to it to inspect trailers and boats and everything.
Yeah.
Altogether, they inspected around 300 boats, 243 motors, and 100 trailers, and they found over $100,000 worth of stolen boats and motors that were on rigs of people fishing.
So not only did they steal them, but they brought them to the derb. That's
Or
beautiful.
someone stole them and they bought them used on like Facebook or something and threw it on their boat, you know.
Oh, I suppose.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But they went there and they were like, jackpot.
I like Ryan's story. Ryan's interpretation of the story. Look, I need this motor more than you do. There's a big bass bash.
I have live scope. I can catch it.
Trust me. Trust me, bro. This is going to be worth it. There might be close to $7,500 on the line.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it was
that 9/9/1991 is gonna take us places.
Yeah. I wish they had like an itemized, like I want to know like what were the things, because it's like, okay, $100,000, like how many things is that?
It would actually be hilarious if like it actually just came down to being like 3 brand new Pro XSs and a Humminbird Graph.
Yeah,
Like just 4 things that were insanely expensive.
Like
or
one
motor
like,
that's on
the
one boat and the
headlights.
other's just a stolen boat.
Yeah,
They're like, we got
right.
$100,000 worth of stuff. Oh, it was 2 items.
Yeah. I feel like now we got to investigate this a little bit more. There was no details.
Yeah, I looked for more and I just didn't have enough time to read through it. But yeah, I was like, I thought that one was funny.
It is.
It's very Texas.
But it was like you almost you want to know the full story, because it's like it's well, and of course, like the picture that they put on the thing is hilarious, right? Like it's almost like the picture is them just being like, "Is this your boat or what?" Like this guy just like stole this whole rig, or like what's the deal?
Yeah, stole the whole flat bottom. That was $2,000.
Every once in a while, you hear about that though, right? Like somebody's boat gets like stolen out of their driveway or whatever, and you're like, well, then what? Like, what's the plan there?
You never know.
I don't know. Maybe it's different if it was like an aluminum boat or something. But it's like most boats are unique. Like if someone stole your boat, Bart, like it would be found pretty quickly, I feel.
You would think, hopefully.
But I mean, like that type of like unique enough. Like, well, yours has your name on it, I guess. But like, if it didn't,
yeah. Oh, not anymore. It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay,
no.
I thought it did.
It did for that event. Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But yeah,
well, anyway,
no. So that was the last article I had there. What do we got next, Pink?
All right, let's roll through. I think we haven't done this one in a while too. So Will brought us a brand fresh new wikifind, and this has been a while. So this better be good.
This segment like started the pod, Bill.
This was OG.
This is an OG segment that people loved. We named episodes after it.
And then you fled the country.
And then you vanished.
This one's pretty
JFK
good.
JFK Reloaded, baby. Is it JFK Reloaded?
If it's not JFK Reloaded,
I still get messages about that randomly.
It's not gonna beat that. That was the best one I've ever found. But and that took a lot of time. That was in the winter when I was not working. Okay, so maybe you guys have heard of this, but there's this conspiracy theory that there's a land.
Wait, first, Will, can you explain to the people what Will's wikifind is?
So
for the newbies.
Yeah, so Will's wikifind is basically I just go on the internet and I just cruise around until I find some sort of conspiracy theory, or they're not all conspiracy, but mostly conspiracy theories, or just strange things on the internet. So Will's wikifind
events that have happened.
Well, wait, we got to preface.
You're just clicking through
Will
Wikipedia.
Will has a knack for finding under the radar, underexposed.
Sure, I'm a internet sleuth, so to speak.
He just keeps clicking links on Wikipedia pages, and eventually, an hour later, he is down a hell of a
Eventually, you fall down these rabbit holes. I mean,
like when your Wikipedia changes to night mode, that's when you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I've donated to Wikipedia in the past. You know, they always ask you for the money. I've chipped them a few bucks.
You felt a little generous.
He has a top fan badge on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I gave him a few bucks. I'm also on Google. Never mind. I'm not.
No, you have to say this.
Okay, so I'm gonna move quickly through this. But one winter, yeah, one winter I worked for this company that did stuff with cell phone towers, and I was like a surveyor, and it was all at these little tiny towns like all over the Midwest, like Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa. So I ended up staying at all these really small motels, like in the middle of nowhere, and going to these little small town bars. But then I would leave them Google reviews, like always good reviews, because they were all awesome places. And so then I have a badge now on Google where I am a local guide because I've left so many reviews and people have found them helpful.
That is
Oh my
awesome.
God.
That's actually great. I love that.
Dude, you got to get that on your thing. You'd be like Montana outfitter, fly fishing guide, and hella Google reviewer. Like,
Yeah.
you got to put it on your resume, dude.
But I haven't
Travel guide.
and I haven't really done it since that one winter when I was doing it, but I stayed at all these like tiny motels and stuff. So yeah, I'm a local guide. But anyways, on to the Will's wikifind.
Yes.
So there's essentially what it is there's this theory that there's a land that exists within the continent of Antarctica that is not, Antarctica, snow-covered ice, South Pole, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But there is this land that exists down there that is lush and green and tropical beyond the ice wall. There's this place, and the reasoning behind this, there's this guy, his name was Richard Byrd, Admiral Byrd, an American explorer, who he explored a ton of Antarctica. I mean, this is in like the 40s, 50s, I think, 30s. Spent a lot of time down there, led big expeditions, discovered all kinds of stuff while he was there. But the conspiracy theory revolves around that he had this diary that his family found after he had died. And that as they were paging through this diary, he describes flying over Antarctica, and they like go over the ice wall and they like start to descend out into this valley, and it opens up into like this lush green space, like beautiful. And then these two UFO type crafts catch up with his plane, and then they guide him down and land him. This is all according to his diary, which no one's ever seen it, but this is his family apparently discovered it. And they land him down, and it's like, heaven on earth. It's this lush, green, beautiful place. And there's these alien creatures essentially living there that have been living there long before humans, us, have been on the US. And basically they've been shielded by Antarctica. And they tell him that like they're very worried about like, nuclear warfare and all this stuff, whatever. And then he like gets in his plane and then leaves, and then something with the trip like malfunctions, like whatever. He never ends up going back. That was his last trip there, and he had been there like 6-7 times. But that is basically the conspiracy theory, that there's this incredible like Garden of Eden type scene down in the South Pole within Antarctica, and no one else has seen it. So I don't know.
I believe him.
I don't know about this.
I wouldn't.
I don't know about this.
I don't know. It's a theory. That's all it is.
If the Earth was flat, it could be real.
Well, yeah. And then it kind of ties in with that whole thing too, Adam. So there's some sort of outside thinking that has to go in to believe it, but I don't know. It's certainly not much going on down there. I mean, there's some,
maybe somebody should scope this out. Like,
I'm certain there's fish down there if what he described is true. I mean, rivers and valleys and
the ice is melting, got to go somewhere. There's got to be some rivers, dude.
Probably some sick drainages there.
Dude, the steelhead or
fucking
magnum.
Probably some giant fish.
That's where the Alaskan king salmon went.
So okay, all right.
Maybe.
So this magical valley of destiny is like there's been no we're not fact checking this.
Well, I certainly don't have any scientific facts to back it up. I mean,
it's
Wikipedia
obvious. It's obvious it was basically based off of. I mean, you ever seen the movie The Land Before Time?
Yeah. Great flick.
It's a great flick.
Is Land Before Time like? I mean, I feel like Bird, just pre Land Before Time.
The movie. Hidden Valley. The Hidden Valley, Ryan.
But you're not saying this. You
3
watched this
star.
movie and was like,
3
what?
stars.
So the other
And-
thing that ties into it is that in like the 60s, right after he had died, a bunch of like the superpowers, like the US, what's the European Union? I mean, whatever they are over there. Anyways, they all signed this collective agreement that there'd be no militarization of Antarctica. So nobody can build a military base there. They can only have like research bases there. And so the conspiracy theory is that if they ever did anything military down there, that this alien force would, strike down upon them, because right now they're living in peace, if you believe it. And so that there's some sort of maybe, communication with this other life force down there, but it's worth Googling. I mean,
I'll Google it. Oh yeah. I think we should just go and put the drone up and just
well,
see
and that'd be one way to do it,
I
beyond
mean,
the ice wall.
Need a lot of batteries.
well,
Yeah.
maybe that's the problem, dude. It's out of drone range. That's why they only make the batteries last so long.
Yeah.
So
And
you
whether or
can't
not
do
this diary existed from this Admiral Byrd guy, he's even worth just Googling, because he's a pretty incredible dude. I mean, he did all kinds of crazy exploration and all that stuff. So, but yeah, that's my wiki find. First one in a long time. So
That's good.
I like it.
I
It
like
gets the gears turning a little bit,
Yeah, it's not something
Need to make that a regular thing. They're always good.
Yeah. I gotta be better about it. So
It's
Admiral
okay.
Byrd, though.
We forgive you, Bill.
hey, shout out Admiral Byrd. Yep.
Yeah, big shout out.
Good
Is
shout
that
out.
like Bird, like BYRD, like Marty
Yeah,
Bird?
he must have been.
Ozarks?
Yeah, he must have been Jewish or something.
Yeah,
Mm,
laundered money.
that checks out.
Well, that's pretty Jewish sounding last name, but regardless,
Oh,
It- you guys know the rapper Lil Dicky? Have you heard of him before?
yeah,
Lil
yeah,
Dicky?
yeah. Little
Yeah,
Dicky's awesome.
his real last name is Bird, Dave Bird. He's a Jewish guy. So, I mean, I'm just speculating.
What do you know about this Antarctica deal?
I don't know. I don't know what they know about it, but okay.
You're keeping
On
it quiet.
to the next subject. I don't want to say too much.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Well, why don't we do it? All right. We derailed a little bit here tonight, but let's do Bart. I know this is eating away at you, so we might as well do this story time. Let's
Oh,
get it
yeah.
going here.
We have to talk about it, Adam.
We have to talk about it. You glazed over it. The people want to know.
You were glazing.
You were glazing.
Yeah,
Barty
Hahner's
boy,
here
catch him
now.
up.
Yeah,
Barty boy, catch him up.
yeah. So St. Jude week was, I mean, obviously super fun, but so it was unique for me this year because normally, I mean, for any tournament, especially a team tournament, you have someone practicing with you or in a different boat. Pangrac was actually fishing the Bassmaster Open on Logan Martin. So all of practice, I had Griff as a backup lined up because I had no clue if he was actually going to be here or not, because he had a plane booked Friday night to leave Birmingham and get to Minneapolis at midnight and then get down for the tournament. So,
But that was only if he did bad, right?
yeah, he had to not make the day 3 cut. So after Thursday, we kind of figured we were probably good. And then Friday, he weighed in like 8 pounds. So turned out, yes. But yeah. But no, so practice, I showed up. First day of practice, I more of just kind of ran around, just looking at kind of how, honestly, I just stared at my live for basically all day, seeing if I could catch fish scoping. And I could not. There's a lot of rough fish on the Mississippi River. Turns out it's pretty hard to figure out what a smallmouth or a largemouth looks like compared to a drum or carp when there's a billion of them. I did catch one giant buffalo on a jerkbait, and I had to go chase it down the main river channel for a solid 10 minutes to get my jerkbait back. But yeah, so basically first day, I just kind of did that. Just wanted to see how water temps were laying out and everything. And then second day of practice, I went and fished around a bit. I mainly spent most of my practice looking for largemouth because I figured the smallmouth were going to start showing up where I wanted them to be basically during the tournament because of the whole weather pattern leading up to it. For people who haven't fished the Mississippi River much, the fish move insanely fast. And if you're behind them, you're screwed. So you kind of got to try to figure out how to get ahead of them. And the whole practice was like rainy and cold. And then it'd be warm one day and then rainy and cold and then warm one day. And then the weekend was supposed to be warm and sunny. So I knew the fish were going to pull up eventually. I just didn't know when. So the second day of practice, I went to an area I've caught smallmouth before after looking for largemouth and catching. Dude, the pike were on a fucking tear.
Big dogs
all week. So many, big, little, you name it. I was catching 20 to 40 of them a day. It was ridiculous. I went through so many chatterbaits and swim jigs. But I went back into one area on Wednesday and I was just going to breeze through it quick. I caught like 4 smallmouth real quick. They were all real little, but they were super fresh, dark fish. And I was like, okay, they're starting to pile in. And like, basically at that point, I was like, I'm not checking any other smallmouth stuff until like the last 3 hours of practice. Like, I don't need to, I know they're going to show up. I'd rather not get my confidence down on them showing up. I'd rather just run it in the tournament and I'll figure it out. It's a 2-day tournament. So I spent all practice looking for a few largemouth, and luckily I did because I ended up finding a few. But yeah, so basically practice Friday. I mean, to accelerate the whole practice part, Friday I was on the phone with Waldo at like 10 or 10:30, and I was hopping around, and I was like, dude, I'll call you back later. Like, I need to go turn and burn. And the water temp went from 54 to 63 in like 4 hours. And I started pulling. I just went to check a few areas of where I wanted to start, and they were piling in. And I was like, okay, cool. I know what they're doing right now. I have to be off the water at 3. I ran back to the access, pulled out at 2:59, and I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go look for smallies and try to get a few largemouth. Well, I found a few largemouth on beds in some very precarious situations, like having to get them over dock posts and shit. Like, not exactly the easiest fish to catch, but they were big. So Panger finished his tournament, calls me as he's in the Birmingham airport Friday at like 6 and tells me he's flying up. That's the last I hear from him. So I go back to my hotel, have everything rigged. And in the morning, I pick him up from the hotel he's at 4:30. He had been asleep for an hour and a half. He hops in my boat. Well, he gets to my boat, and I have like 15 rods in my passenger seat with no reels. And he brought like 4 reels, and I'm like,
so he brought no gear.
He brought just reels. And I was like, which rods would you like? And he's like, what are we going to be doing? I'm like, you need 2 smallmouth bed fishing baits on spinning rods, and I need a braid rod that you can flip over docks, and then whatever else you want to tie on. But that's probably what we're going to be doing. And he grabbed a couple rods, and basically the whole morning just spent rigging them up. But dude, that's like literally just was rigging in my boat. Like, Alyssa was down there, like, we were trying to chat, and he's like, where are these hooks? And I'm like having to dig through my boat to find the tackle that he needs. And all of a sudden your pre-tournament rigging disaster, that's your boat like at 4 the night before, is my boat at 6:45, and we're blasting off at 7. And I'm like, dude, we got to put this away. Like, we got to go fishing. But anyway, so we ran off to our first spot, caught whatever, decent limit. We had like, or not even decent, tiny limit. I was hoping they'd be big ones, and they were all little. So they were like 14 pounds to start, and it's just pouring, and there's like some lightning. And I'm like, dude, we're going to go check some largemouth. And we go pull back to these docks. And obviously when it's pouring and really dark, you cannot see sight fish at all. And I pull into these docks, put my poles down, look at Panger, and I'm like, they're like right here. We can't see them, but we got to get them to bite.
Here.
Yeah, they're here-ish. And he had 65-pound braid rigged up on a flipping stick, and is just sitting there flipping. And I can't even cast. because the way my boat has to be lodged into this situation to potentially even get these fish out, there's like him flipping at said fish, no other cast for me. So I'm just sitting there like chilling. Like, all right, like just let me know when you yank on one. And actually caught the first one in like 4 or 5 flips. So I was like, oh, cool. This might be a quick operation. That was a dumb thought, because then he goes to the next one, which we could actually kind of see, flips at it, bites, sets the hook. It comes up and we're like, oh my God, it's like a 4.5. I thought it was like a 3 3/4. And it's sitting there wallowing, and he tries to like flip it over the wood dock, and the line gets caught on a little piece of the wood that's up, and it's just hanging on the other side of the dock, shaking.
Love that.
And I'm like, this is not good, and just falls off back in.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, about 50 yards behind us, there's a guy who's been pulled down on another one I had found, but he's obviously fishing for it, and he watches this whole thing happen. So Panger's like, well, we should just leave it and get it later. I'm like, that will not be able to happen, because Buddy right there is going to come right here right after we leave. So we're stuck here. Like, we have to get this fish or it has to leave, and we can't see it. So I have no idea. So we sat there, and he kept flipping at it. And basically the only thing I did for 25 minutes was pull different tackle out of my boat and hand them to him. And he would just put different baits on and keep flipping at the same spot, hoping something would happen. And about 25 minutes later, when we were like, man, I don't know if it's there anymore, all of a sudden he just sets the hook and he's like, oh my God, I got it. And he flips it to get it to come over the dock. It gets midair, flops off, lands on the dock, and is doing like flopping, you know, and you can't like jump on the dock because you can't leave the boat. So Panger's knees fall to the back deck of the boat, and he just leans over and just grabs it and rolls back in.
But he got it.
And he got it. And he's just sitting there. He's like, I have it. And it's just sitting there squeezed right to him. And I'm like, cool. And just walk back, like grab it, weigh it. I'm like, yeah, that's like a 4.5. But then, so that was like the first tick I probably should have had in my brain that this week was going my way, was that, because that a largemouth doesn't bite twice.
You hooked it twice, and it came off, and you scooped it,
and it hung off a dock. Like, that fish should not have bit again. Like, we could see it every once in a while over the next 25 minutes, and that thing wanted no part of getting back to its bed. Like, it would kind of get close,
so
and a
was
bait
Buddy
would slip
still
in, and it
pulled
was
down?
like,
Pulled
so
down
he's
right
still
by you?
pulled down when we have caught this.
So you watched that, and you were like, "You want this smoke or what?"
Yeah. So he watched the whole thing, and he's still fishing for that one. And I'm like, okay. And I tell Panger, I'm like, well, there's another big one somewhere over here. I was like, it was swimming around. It looked like it was going to make a bed, but I don't know where the bed is, and we can't see anything. So we literally come around the corner, and I'm like pointing him like, yeah, it's somewhere up here. And like, I'm getting about ready to make a cast, and he's like reeling in his bait basically. And I like look down, I'm like, oh, there's a bed. And he just goes, got it. And I watch it come like off the bed as he's reeling it up. And I'm like, oh my God, net it, throw it in, 3 3/4. That guy is still power pulled down, fishing for the same fish.
Really?
We have now caught 3 for like 12 1/4.
Did you think the one he was on was big? Or...
Yeah, it was for sure a 4-pounder.
Oh, okay.
But he was still on it. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to leave. So yeah, we left, and then we went and we locked down, and Panger hadn't locked or anything. I hadn't locked on the river in a while either. So locked down, ran a super long ways in the pouring rain, got to our area, pulled up to the one fish I had found there in practice, and was like, hey, we'll go fish around, but this one's big. Throw in, set the hook, break it off. Like,
beauty.
Okay, so we went from this might be my day to like maybe not. And fished around a little bit more, and eventually it's still pouring rain. I'm like, I got to take a piss, and then we'll leave. And I'm like, dude, I don't know, just chuck up there and throw a few casts. Maybe there's some on that shell bar pre-spawn. He literally casts up there, catches a 4-pounder.
Really?
Yes. As like, I'm just buying time for the fact that I know I have to run 25 minutes and it's pouring. So we get that one, go run up, and I was like, okay, things are going fairly good. We're at like 18, 19 pounds now. We were at about 19 probably. And then it started getting nice and the sun started to come out. And I told him, I was like, we're going to run to this pre-spawn spot. I was thinking about starting there, whatever. And this was like where I thought the whole tournament all of a sudden like clicked into my brain. I was like, holy shit, I think we might be able to win. I pulled up to this pre-spawn spot. And I was catching them every cast there in practice whenever I'd pulled up to it. Like cast, catch one, leave. And then I'd check it randomly another day or whatever. Pull up to it. We make like 20 casts, catch nothing.
Love that.
Look around a little bit, catch nothing. I look at him and I'm like, holy shit, they pulled up. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, they're right around the corner. They weren't here yesterday at 3. Like they literally weren't here yet. We pull around the corner, pull in, look down, and I'm like, holy shit, there's 50, maybe 100 of them. They're everywhere, and nobody knows they're there. So we just grab like 2 of them and leave. And
they were on beds at that point?
Yeah, they were starting to make them. So I was like, okay, they're showing up. So then we ran in that day, weighed 21 and a half for 6. We were sitting in 8th. There were a ton of bags over 20, though. There were like 19 bags over 20 pounds. Then went to the banquet and everything, which was awesome. Always is. And day 2 show up to the one non-windy day we've had all spring.
Were you leading it after day 1?
No, I was in 8th.
Okay.
We were back by like 2.5 pounds. The leaders had like 24, but it was like a freak bag. I mean, 24 is so hard to get on the river. Especially even with 6, just a 4-pound average is insanely hard on the Mississippi River. But we showed up then that morning. It was a one nice day. Like if you remember like the first day in May this year, that felt amazing, where it was like 75, no wind, just beautiful, Minnesota and Wisconsin. It was that day. The great thing was and I actually think it did help us, but the Mississippi River Valley gets fog really badly. And we had a fog delay for an hour and a half, day 2 morning, just chilling there. I'm just like biting my tongue, just like, oh my God, I know where I want to go and I know what's going down right now. And I just want to get there. And finally got let out. We got there and we had a camera boat showed up on us. So that's cool. They kind of got to document the whole thing. But I basically pulled up, put my trolling motor down. I think we damn near doubled up on our first 2 casts. I went back and started like weighing fish and putting them down. And I basically just netted fish for Panger for the next hour because we were catching them like damn near every single cast. And I'm just sitting back there with a scale, trying to figure out which one's bigger, which one's smaller, throwing them around everywhere.
Plus, he was coming off a bad derb, so he just wanted to punish them.
Oh, yeah, and he was just absolutely peeling on them. And I was like, whatever, man. I don't care who gets these in the boat. I know where they are, and I know what's going on. So, we just peeled on them for like, it was like 2 or 3 hours. But, dude, we had this one fish. So we got there in the morning. It was a giant, and it was actively spawning with another one that was way bigger, the female. And I mean, if you guys know, you cannot, if they're actively spawning, you cannot catch them. Like there is like nothing you can do to get them to bite. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you throw in there and one bites, but like if you throw in there a few times and they're like no interest, you're out of luck. Move on. So we got in there that morning and they were actively spawning, caught all the fish around them, went back to them, still not right. And we came back to this fish 6 times throughout the day, because I kept telling Panger, like, this is the fish we need. And at the end of the day, it was like 3:05. We were doing it 3:30. Pulled in one last time, and it's still in bit. And he looked at me, and he was like, why are we checking this fish again? I was like, dude, at some point in time, a switch is going to flip, and it's going to bite. And we literally pulled up to it. He made one cast, bit, set the hook, caught it. It was a 4.13. Called out our last one. And like was like, well, we might as well go in now. And we went in 10 minutes early. And I didn't think necessarily we had it won because we had 21 and a half again. I thought someone would get 22 or 23 and, take it home. But we were like idling in and looking at each other basically saying, well, I couldn't have done anything else. Like, that's fished a perfect tournament, basically. Like, everything went the right way. And yeah, we weighed in and we took the lead right away, obviously. And then I was just assuming someone would pass us, because the way they do boat numbers, day 2, like, all the top weights come in right away. So, like, whoever's going to win, basically within 30 minutes of weigh-in for the most part. So we weighed in right away, and then we're going to walk back to the boat to pull out. And there's 2 guys who've won a bunch of Judes going up, and they've won it doing similar stuff to what I was doing. And I was like, okay, this is where we get beat. And they were like, oh, Corey Houck and Brian Harmon, 17 or 18 pounds. And I was like, what the heck? And then they were like, Jimmy Johnson, Eric Ronigan, like, they've won a Jude, they've won a bunch of stuff, 18 pounds. And that's all of a sudden I looked at Panger and I was like, get the truck. We got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. Because all of a sudden, just like, I had so much anxiety for like 20 to 30 minutes. Because I was like, oh my God, I think it might happen. Because it was like, holy shit, we actually caught them. And like, all of a sudden it registered in my brain, they didn't catch them.
Like, the people that could have
people
beat
that
you,
should catch them didn't catch them, and I caught them.
Yeah.
Like, that should not happen. So yeah, then I mean, like, literally we were one of the first teams to weigh in, and then we sat there the whole time.
You had to just wait the whole time.
Yeah, we waited the whole time, just sitting there. Like, that's why I wanted to pull out, because I wanted to do stuff, to just do something else. I'm sure you know that, Cody. Like, you want to do anything except sit there and wait.
Sit there and wait and listen to your name called, and like the other people called in the weights. You're like, oh, just constant dilemma.
Yeah. So we were hanging back by the truck, just chilling. And eventually, once I got down to the people who had weighed in like 15 the day before, I was like, okay, I think we're probably safe now. We can go back up. Like, we should be good. But yeah, man, it was crazy. That was that was my first like big win. And I never thought it would be on the Mississippi River, especially in that tournament. Because I mean, in my opinion, that's one of probably the hardest tournaments to win. And like that in the Sturgeon Bay Open.
Yeah.
Just because the locals who are fishing it are like so much ahead of everyone else. It's hard to catch up. But yeah, man. So that's kind of how it went down.
That's sweet. No,
that's awesome, Bart.
Yeah, I was stoked to see that you pulled that one off. I was like, I know you put a lot of time into it, so it's like badass to see it pay off,
Yeah, and basically, I mean, like, and you've met Panger enough to know
sure.
He absolutely hates gambling in tournaments. Hates it. He wants to know exactly what we're gonna catch and what we're gonna do. And I looked at him and I was like, dude, we are rolling the dice. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, they should have showed up yesterday. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I went and checked and some were starting to show up, but like they should be there this morning. He's like, well, why don't we go where they were? I'm like, because they won't be there. Like, we have to go to where they're going to and hope they're there.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. It was very cool. Made a ton of great decisions. Panger talked me out of, almost made one that probably would have lost it. And he talked me out of it. I was going to lock down in the middle of the day on the second day. And I'm really glad I didn't, because everyone who locked down did not catch anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they got back and with like one fish or so. Like middle of the day after we caught that bag, I was telling Panger I wanted to go run and lock down. And he was like, no, I'm not feeling that. I was like, okay, well, we're going to go check a spot. And still in my head, I was like, I'm the one making decisions here. I'm going to run down here and I'm still going to make up my mind based off of this next spot. So we pull into the spot and Brent Hames is there, who, if anybody knows Hames, he's fished a classic, won a bunch of Judes. But he looks at me and he's like, how are you doing? I'm like, good. I don't know. We got 6 working on a pretty big bag. And he's like, we have 1. And it's noon. I was like, that's not good. And then another guy came whipping around the corner trying to fish where we were. And he peeled out. And Hames looked at me and he's like, well, if he's trying to come here, he's struggling too. And we fished a little bit, and I looked at Panger and I was like, we need to leave. He was like, what, locked down? I was like, no, we're going to run actually the opposite direction 30 miles and just see what we run into up there. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, something happened down here. I don't know what it was, but we don't have time to figure it out. So then we picked up, literally hauled ass up to an area I spent 3 minutes maybe in practice. Like, did not find anything that great. Pulled in and called up twice. Actually, yeah, twice with 2 fish that probably ended up winning it. Was that or that 413. Yeah. So it was just cool decision making. Like, afterwards, looking back at all the decisions that happened and being like, wow, that went great. Like, yeah.
Well, at least it wasn't like a
win.
struggle, you know, like there you're like working.
No, the only thing that sucked was the rain all morning on day one. That really was not fun.
Yeah.
Running around, 70 all day in rain hurts.
Yeah.
Especially on the river where all your runs are like 10 to 20 miles or 10 to 20 minutes, I should say. They're not short.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to get the first one done.
Well, congrats. And
Awesome.
at least it was at the beginning of the season. So you got some like momentum now versus
That's
like
true.
when at the end, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So roll it into the team trail thing and you can tear it down, dude.
Keep
Well
the
done,
train
Bart.
going.
Well done, Bart. Well
Thank
done,
You did
Bart.
it. You did it, boys.
I finally
Brought
did
it back.
Brought it home. We got a Happy Gilmore check in the garage. She's hung up.
Awesome.
Yeah, that I said I look at that every time
That's
I
the
walk
best
in now,
part.
and I look up and I'm like, that's cool. I never thought I'd get one of those.
That is pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just a giant check.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Badass.
But yeah, man.
Sweet. Well, keep it going, dude. Be fun to watch the rest of it too.
Yeah, excited to see if we get after him on cab. That'll be
Yeah,
Yep.
what you told me a bit about that, so I'm excited to see what the bags end up being because it'd be cool to see another big, slugfest tournament in that team trail. It'd be cool.
Yeah, I have no idea. We'll be exploring up on the Canadian border later this week.
When are you driving up there?
Wednesday.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
2 days, right? Yeah.
Yep. Should be fun. Should be.
Hell
Yeah. Hopefully it's good. I just really hope we get another new tournament destination in the upper Midwest. That would be cool because it's big. Heard it's fairly sketchy too. So see how
Does that sound right, Bill?
Yeah, there's a lot of rocks there, if I remember correctly.
There's a
Good
fair
amount of
amount of
rock
stuff.
in that
I think
place.
there's a fair amount of stuff to hit.
There's a fair amount of stuff in the water there, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure everyone will be fine. It's not like it's got to be harder to run the river than it is to run up there. So
River, it's just sand. Like all of a sudden you
Yeah.
look down and you're like,
Yeah.
shit, it's 8 inches. I can't stop.
right.
Whereas up there, it's like, oh, it's 40 feet and here's a glacial rock that comes up to a foot.
Yeah, I don't know. Just read the water, brother.
Yeah.
Easy to do at 70 miles an hour, right?
Yeah. Dude, when you're running in those backwaters and there's like a little bit of wind against the current and you like feel like you can read water and sand, but then there's waves against it and you're going fast and you're like,
Yeah.
Panger's looking at me like, are we good? I'm like, yeah, totally.
We're
Just
fine.
running
Just
through
go
them like
fast.
I totally smoked a stump in here the other day with my trolling motor and I don't know where it is.
Just trim up and go fast.
Yeah, the famous line in the Mississippi River, and then we'll move on. But it's Corey Howe always told me, he's like, dude, you only got to miss it by a 1/4 inch.
It's true.
That's
True.
That is accurate. That is accurate.
I'm like, all right.
That's a valid point.
That's terrible advice, by the way.
It's awesome advice.
Yeah, Hunter's like,
That's
I'm ready to run the
I mean-
Mississippi River.
I mean, it's
Was
like
right.
it's like, yeah, you're right, but yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You only got to miss it by a 1/4 inch.
Trim up, go fast.
Just a bit outside.
When you don't miss it, wow, is it loud?
Wow. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, boys. Let's round this thing out. We got another weigh-in tonight. You boys ready for this one? I don't
Yes,
know.
sir.
All right. Who's going first? Do we have results from the last one?
Oh yeah, I can find them.
I must have won. I think I led the
You
whole.
had a really good. You had a really upon looking back at it, your roster was phenomenal.
I thought it was pretty well rounded. Yeah,
it was very good.
It was good. We did get a little blowback in the comments on some missed ones, I do think, but that's fine.
Oh, there was a lot. There was more than we thought.
Yeah. Well, there always is. It's in the moment, coming up with it is not.
It's a high pressure situation.
Oh wow! So yeah. Wow, Stolski.
Did I win?
Holy this might be the biggest blowout in history.
Say it or what?
Yeah, Stolski.
He's like, wow.
Stolski got 50. Stolski got 78% of the votes.
Well, that's
like the next
handed.
Closest was Pink was 16%.
Yeah,
like it was a blowout.
I knew.
That's why I said, "Holy shit!"
I knew I had a good lineup. I think that's the first one I've ever won. I think it's the first one I've ever won. So
mopped.
Well, that's one way to win it. Well done. Maybe we get you a big check too.
Yeah,
I might get a tattoo.
We could get you a big check too.
I want to a tattoo. I said one-time weigh-in winner.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Wait, what was your big pick? I gotta remember. We could get that tattooed on it. What really?
I don't even know if it was a big pick. It was just solid all around.
Well, I think that I had barbecue sauce, didn't I? That helps.
You had some
Chick-fil-A sauce. I think probably brought
honey
it
mustard.
home.
You had like a honey mustard situation.
Honey mustard in the third round, and then Asian zing. Yeah,
had it pretty generic, so I pandered a little bit, but I'm happy to take the win.
He was just overly relatable and well spread out, I think.
Yeah. Some people were really pissed about no Raising Cane sauce
or blue cheese.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, blue cheese. That would have been a good one to pick too.
I'll stand on that hill. Fuck those people. I hate blue cheese.
You don't know what you're talking about.
It's moldy cheese. It sucks
it's
ass.
50-50. You got people they're either all
terrible
in blue cheese. Yeah,
I will die on that hill. It is awful. It doesn't make anything better.
Well, I kind of agree.
We'll leave you on the hill. How about that?
Blue cheese is sort of an East Coast thing, isn't it?
It doesn't enhance anything.
I don't think so. What are you talking?
It does not enhance anything.
I'm with Ryan on this one.
Yeah.
So
suck it.
Well, too bad you weren't here for the weigh-in, Cody.
Well, whatever. No one.
Your damn lids getting a haircut.
All right, let's do this next one.
Yeah.
So we all need to sleep.
Let's go.
So we going Bill first, then Pink was second, then it'd be me, then Hahner.
So I get to pick first. Then
what? Pick first, yeah.
And well, Ryan, could you introduce it quick?
Yeah. So okay. So the weigh-in, we're gonna go snake draft through this. We'll pick 4 things in the category. Tonight's category: the best leftover foods. Best leftover foods. So we're gonna go through this. We'll go one around. Wrap it back around, do it twice, basically. So, Will, do you want to go first, or where do you want to position yourself?
Man. Oh wow,
it is a big call.
It is. This is tough because I think the good ones are going to go fast.
I do think so.
I think there's like a core group of really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll take the last pick.
All right, I'll take
the wrap around.
Then I'll take first.
I will go second then.
All right, and Hahner goes 3. All right, so here we go. I'm leading this thing off, and I'm taking pizza.
That is the true one of one.
I had one thing on the list, and it was taken off immediately.
Yeah,
that is Ryan. That is it's the true one of one.
I have to take it. I know.
Top tier one of one, cold frozen or cold pizza.
You left it on the table. I would like to.
No, I know, but I think I can get a good wraparound.
Yeah.
Great pick.
I think you're in a good spot. Yeah. All right.
Great pick. Excellent pick.
All right. Barty boy.
I actually think the best leftovers is the Thanksgiving dinner plate.
That doesn't. Can we vote on that, please?
It is the whole thing.
No, veto.
Yes.
Veto. You can't
it has to be more.
It has to be a specific food. I agree, Adam.
I say like
Adam,
turkey,
it's a great pick. It's a great pick, but I can't think you can't lump all that.
All encompassing. You're talking
You're talking.
Yeah, but
to-
it's literally
talking-
everybody talks about it. Like
Yeah,
it's
but you can't-
you make a plate specifically of leftovers that you go put in the microwave the next day, and you're like, "Yup."
No, can
And
we
it's all
let's
mashed up together?
let's
It's
take a vote.
Thanksgiving
Let's
Thanksgiving
take a vote.
dinner plate.
Let's take a vote. Who
I personally feel like this is broad as shit. Like
who
it-
wants
I
to
mean, it
veto?
is, but
Rein
it's
it in,
also a
brother.
leftover. We're saying the
vote to
best
veto.
leftovers. It's Thanksgiving leftover dinner plate.
Veto. Ryan,
I think I think you got to at least specify.
you have to pick one of the food groups, Adam. I think that's only how that's how it's fair.
But you can lead it with Thanksgiving.
You
blank.
could say Thanksgiving blank. Thanks. Yeah.
Then I'd go with the if we're going that way, then I would say the Thanksgiving turkey and gravy. Or
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
like
Yep,
because
that's
you have
good.
the turkey
Yes,
with the
yes,
gravy
that-
on it, because
all right,
otherwise it sucks.
I can. All right. Yeah,
No, that's
turkey and
fine.
gravy.
I just
All right.
think it's a great pick, Adam, but it's a little.
Yeah,
all
I
in-
get what you're saying. I just think
Yeah.
like it is its own item. I get it's
and
broad,
in a
but
way,
it's like
it is. I
'cause,
certainly
like-
agree. I just think for the
I think by allowing Thanksgiving in the name, you're getting the impact you're looking for.
Yeah,
but
you're
like,
okay,
you
that's
can't
fair.
just,
That's
you
fair.
can't just dominate the food
Yeah.
groups here.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Hahner.
All right, so I got one. I don't know if it's just something that came from my house, but it is the leftover lasagna. The day-old lasagna where like it gets a little crispy on top.
It does, and
And when you go to microwave it, you got a
Oh.
little more crunchiness
Because
Mhm.
the noodles
the
dry
top
out.
layer.
just a
Yes, just a little
bit,
bit, but the
yeah.
inner is soft. I don't know, something about that like brings me home. That brings me back to 8 years old.
That's a great pick, Cody.
I
That's,
I like that.
Thank you.
Lasagna killer. All right, Stolski with the wrap around here.
okay, so my first pick, I'm gonna take fried chicken.
God,
Good
I
pick.
think,
that is
good
a
pick.
great pick.
I think that, and I don't reheat it. I think cold fried
Yes.
chicken.
You're right.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
man.
very good.
I
Mhm.
think that's so good. That's a great boat snack as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I think cold fried chicken, and then I'm gonna wrap it around with another fried item, and I'm gonna say fried fish.
You bastard.
Fried fish leftover.
God
I
damn.
think it's better than
Yes,
Like,
I
So
think
good, dude.
it's just delectable.
It's
And
so
same
much
thing.
better.
Some people may. I don't heat it up. I
Neither
eat
do
it
I.
cold.
No,
it
cold,
almost
dude.
tastes a little bit
Cold.
more like chicken.
Great pick, dude.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
good.
So I'm gonna double up with the fried food
Oh,
items, but
boy.
I think those are both great, really good cold items the next day.
That was a strong start, bud. All
I'm glad I
right.
got the wraparound.
You did. That was well placed.
Hahner.
Well, Stolski took basically everything that I had. in the short minutes that I looked up the weigh-in. So now I'm just trying to stall on time.
Uh-huh.
Pulling a Sobe.
Thinking about
The brownies are burning. What? Oh boy. He's at a loss, folks.
He is halted.
I'm
Googling.
definitely at a loss.
Googling.
No,
No, just think,
No.
Cody.
just
Think to your-
thinking.
Think to your youth.
Honestly, another one that I can think of as far as crispiness goes
Mhm.
is a really nice mac and cheese plate. I can go back to
Yep.
my youth,
Mhm.
and there was like there's either the cheesy potato plate or the cheesy like crumbly mac and cheese plate.
Mhm.
And it always tasted fine on the first day. But the second day, if it was a little bit cold and a little bit more crispy, I'm all about that crisp, man. I'm all about it.
So the
That
mac
was fantastic.
and cheese is the pick.
That was the pick.
Good
Yeah,
pick.
mac and cheese.
Leftover mac and cheese is good. It has a different sort of texture, like you said.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm. I like
I
that.
A lot of noodle based here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
am.
like it. I like it.
Speaking of that, I am surprised I got this one where I did. So I got to take it now. I think leftover spaghetti
Motherfucker.
is better than regular spaghetti.
Yeah,
It is so
It
fucking good.
Is it
If
sort
it's
of-
if
gets-
it's noodle based,
It gets in the noodles. And
Pasta
it's just,
pasta whales they
it's
do.
the
it's so good.
It's the sitting in the it's just sort of
There's something there.
Mhm.
There's something there. I get what
Yeah.
you're saying, dude. But
No, that's good.
Right.
That's a good pick.
It's-
You
Adam.
heat it up though, Bart? Or you
Yeah,
just
I don't
ripping it
like
out of the
cold.
fridge?
I don't like cold spaghetti.
No, yeah, I heat that up too.
Heat it up and it's just good. It's good.
Right on.
You definitely you can't overheat it though, because then all of a sudden it gets too dry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah,
you do get a
there's-
bit too far. But
Yeah.
There's a-
leftover
there's-
spaghetti is very good.
Mhm.
All right.
Fuck.
All right. I got to narrow this one down because this one's fairly broad. And I don't. Being that we burned you to the absolute fucking ground on the Thanksgiving thing, I got to tighten this one up. So I'm going to say. How do I tighten her up here? All right. I'm mad at myself because this one is like very broad, but I got it. All right. I'm going to go with
More broad than mine was.
yes.
And you're trying to slide it through. I love it. Here we go.
I'll specify if I have to. But I think that
Just say it.
Chinese takeout.
I feel like that's the exact same thing as Thanksgiving dinner.
I think you got to pick a dish.
I think you got to pick a dish.
Then I'm going.
Because I had to pick a dish.
That's fair. I will do it.
Yes.
So I'm saying I got to figure out how to word this. It's long, but it'll hit. So I'm gonna say I'm going with fried rice and chicken. Takeout fried rice and chicken. Chinese takeout fried rice and chicken.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. I won't argue with that. There's no doubt. It's a great pick, really.
Because the other thing, like Thanksgiving, it's like I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it matters what's on the plate.
Yeah.
Like I'm mowing it.
Yeah.
God. I have a really
What do you have on the? Because it's you back to back now, Pink, isn't it?
yeah. Ryan.
Yeah,
wraps
I'm
up.
writing because this was like a whole sentence one.
Yeah, you got to write your novel.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Chinese takeout fried rice. Got it. Okay. So I'm taking oh, I don't like that I'm leaving some of these on the table. This one might be a little interesting, but personally this one hits home for me. So I'm taking jambalaya.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a killer leftover one.
No,
All
I
right.
believe it is.
I believe it
I'm
is.
gonna take this one. I'm not jambalaya is good.
It is good.
This one fairly specific. I'm gonna pull at basically everyone's memories here because I know we all lived through this phase at some point in time. But I feel like one of the best leftovers from my childhood was graduation party pulled pork.
That's a good pick.
Because you
That's-
lived, you
I would just
lived,
ask
you
pulled
lived
pork.
on it for like two or
can't
three.
win. I can't win.
2 or 3 weeks after the grad party, you were like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm eating every single day for the next 2 weeks?
Forever.
Pulled pork.
Yeah.
That's a good. That's a really solid
That's
pick.
a good one.
Pulled pork is a good one for sure.
Yeah, especially in the third round here. Well done.
Especially now we're deep in the draft.
Yeah.
Hahner, I'm sorry.
He's just buried, dude.
Okay, so I came up with 2, thank God. So the next one I got, other than pulled pork, was going to be chili.
Dude, that's
God
a great
Damn
pick.
it. That
Yeah.
is good, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, that's like a
Wisconsin.
dish that people make like 7 gallons of it
Dude.
to put it in leftovers and heat up.
I
because
mean,
it's
that's
so
true.
good to heat up.
That's a Wisconsin deer camp. People just sort of add things to it as
Yeah.
it grows, and
Yeah.
you got a week's worth of like open containers
And it's just sitting out on the porch.
sitting out on the porch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's
cold
fermented-
arrow.
fermented.
The
Yeah,
cold
it's
arrow
fine.
method.
It's fine for
fine.
7 days.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yep. That was kind of my pick. Add a little sour cream, a little cheddar.
Yep. Little
Maybe a little hot
cheddar,
sauce. if
You
you're
are
feeling
you
spicy.
are you a cornbread? Are you a cornbread guy?
Love it. Absolutely love it. Dip it
Fuck
in
with
there.
Cornbread.
Yep.
Soak it
Kind of
up.
like a donut or scone guy in coffee.
Ooh, okay,
Same with
yep,
cornbread.
Oh
yep.
yeah.
Alright. The dunk.
Yep.
That's
All right,
that's a
so
really good pick.
Chili. Well done.
Okay.
All right, Stolski.
Well, you guys will have to. This is another. It's a really broad one, and
See, we
I
coulda
love
left
it's just
them
like you
open.
gotta
We
just
coulda
throw it
left
out there.
open early.
Throw it out
Everybody
there.
could have got them.
I'm open to responses, but I would say like a burrito bowl, like specifically Chipotle, like
I
the
think
next
that's
day
fine.
cold. I don't know if that'll. I mean, it's up to you guys, but that would be
All
my
right.
one. 'Cause I think
I think a burrito bowl is fine. You're very specifically. I know what you're talking about.
that gets okay.
So
I'll
burrito
take
bowl.
that.
That's what you're
Yeah.
Are
going.
you saying steak or chicken? That would be the only thing I'd want to know. Like steak, chicken, or what's your meat in that burrito bowl?
I'll go chicken on the bowl.
Okay.
Extra rice.
I usually keep it just single rice.
Well, okay.
Okay, that's perfect, and that'll go into my next pick. And I'm gonna go with just steak. Just steak. Leftover steak, cold though.
I'm gonna say interesting pick.
And maybe it's just a personal kind of preference thing, but I think steak the next day, it's not as good as the first day, certainly, but cold. But cold, you slice it thin. It can be a nice little snack in the boat.
Cold
But
steak.
I'm reaching here. I don't have a whole lot left, so that's going to be my fourth and final.
Oh, I had two
God,
left.
you were going strong, and I feel like that did not end strong for you.
All right. So is it no, it's Hahner now.
Hahner.
Yep.
Yep.
It's up to me. It's up to me.
That was
So
a-
this is I don't know how much of this you guys have had, but in my childhood we had a ton of it. And the first day it was okay. The second day it was much better. It would have been an old fashioned, slap me some ketchup on the side, meatloaf.
That's actually a
Meatloaf.
good
All right,
call.
meatloaf.
Meatloaf is good.
Yeah.
That is,
Leftover.
that's a. I'm not a huge meatloaf guy, but
Yeah, I'm not a
definitely
huge
right.
meatloaf guy
I mean,
either, but it's a good pick. Like
second
that's a good
day.
leftover food.
Second
Is
is
that-
soaking?
That is pretty solid. Is that hot or cold in your leftover?
No, that's gonna be a mic'd up type
Mic'd
yeah,
up?
for me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
fair. I could see that. I could see that. Damn.
I like it. All
Good
right.
pick, good
So
pick.
for my last one, I'm going to go with because I can't leave it out just because I basically live off of this somewhat in the winter after posting Chronicle videos. Pink knows exactly what I'm going to say. It's boneless Buffalo Wild Wings.
I was gonna say I already wrote
Great
it. so.
pick. Great pick. So
Dude,
really solid ass pick.
They're boneless wings the next day, specifically because like if you leave them for 2 or 3 days, they go bad very
Hold on.
quickly. They're not nearly as good.
Are you
But the
heating them? Or are you eating them cold?
I personally like them cold.
I agree.
They're so crunchy and
Yeah.
they're so good. And I don't know
Solid.
why. They're like,
Solid
dude,
ass.
I order like 20 to 30 wings when I'm there, and I only eat like 8 or 10. Bring them
Well-
home for leftovers and
I-
crush the leftovers. They're so good cold. I love them. I do. I love cold leftovers.
I'm bringing a clicker
Good
next
Buffalo
time.
Wild Wings.
That's a good pick, Adam. That's a really solid pick. Yeah.
I like that. Oh, boneless. So
That's a
boneless
really good
buffalo wings.
Motherfucker.
Specifically Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, buffalo.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't know what they're breading or whatever it is, but it's still good
Yeah.
the next day.
Cocaine, I think.
Probably. That would explain a lot.
All right, last pick here. Hopefully this one isn't controversial, but I'm taking Subway sandwich.
Interesting.
What?
Day 2 Subway.
Really?
That sounds
Yeah.
disgusting.
That
Can
sounds
you-
terrible. I'm gonna be honest.
You have
Pink.
a specific kind?
Yeah.
Cold cut combo, baby.
Do you
Okay.
have no mayo or anything on that?
Well, I mean, it's got shit on there. What do you want, my full order here?
Well, I
Well-
just want to know because I feel like it gets soggy as shit.
It
I-
does. It does.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fucking soggy as shit.
I think
And it
now
hits,
my
dude.
steak pick looks pretty good.
No,
Pink
no.
loses.
I think, yeah, Bill, I would go with your steak pick over
Well,
that
hey.
every day of the week.
But we'll let the
You-
people
you-
decide.
we let the people decide.
We'll let the people decide, but this might have been the first food challenge that Pink just picked a
That was an
bad
interesting
one.
choice. That was an interesting choice, Ryan. But
We'll see what
some
happens.
people
here.
may resonate with that. I don't know.
I have an honorable mention. We can.
Well,
talk
hold
about
on, hold
after
on,
that.
hold on.
That's
Well,
fine.
Let's,
Yeah.
let's see what we got on the table.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan's do the read around.
All right, so I'll start just because I have them in this order. Bart has Thanksgiving turkey and gravy, spaghetti, grad party pulled pork, Buffalo Wild Wings, boneless buffalo wings.
Solid.
That's what it is. Stolski with fried chicken, fried fish, chicken burrito bowl, and cold steak. Hahner with lasagna, mac and cheese, chili, and meatloaf. And then I'm with
I don't
pizza.
know, boys.
You all right?
Boys. I like my picks.
It came together.
I got pizza, Chinese takeout, fried rice and chicken, jambalaya, and Subway sandwich.
That last one's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna kill you.
I don't think
it's
so.
gonna fuck you up.
I don't think so.
Well, anybody have honorable mentions, or am I the only one who had a couple?
No, I've got a
Fire away. Fire away.
The one I'll go with first that I was kind of surprised nobody picked. Maybe it was mainly a thing in my childhood. Sloppy Joe's.
That's what I was gonna say. That's a
Yeah.
great,
Fucking so
Sloppy
good left over, dude. So good.
Super good. Super
Great.
good cold. Yeah,
What do
they're
you-
awesome.
Is Sloppy Joe's just like ketchup and barbecue sauce? Is that all it is? With
No, there's
hamburgers?
some mustard
brown
in
sugar?
there. Brown
Is that
sugar.
what it is?
Yeah.
Can you educate me on that?
I mean, yeah, it's usually some type of like sugar. Then it's like a sweet and savory sauce. Is basically
Okay.
what it is. And then just
Well,
ground
because you
that
can
ground
eat them cold. That was gonna be mine. That's a good one.
yeah.
They are
one.
good cold.
I had one that maybe is a little controversial, but I love it. I think movie theater popcorn the next day is really good.
That's disgusting.
That's
you
wrong,
Bring
but
that. You
yeah.
bring that
That's
home.
wrong.
Yeah, I love popcorn though. But there's a reason I didn't pick it for my picks. I didn't
Oh
think
my
it would
God.
go well.
I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, well, you picked right. Yeah.
Yeah. You.
Well,
you
here's
take
the
it
thing.
home from
If
the
I would have
movie
taken leftover movie theater popcorn and Pink took Subway sandwich, which would you
It's
rather
not
have?
close.
Subway sandwich.
Subway
Yeah,
sandwich.
100%.
Really?
Not
Okay.
even
Yeah.
close.
Yeah,
Movie
no.
theater popcorn. Where do you even store that? You put it in.
No, you just bring it back in the
The full-
bucket.
No, you
Just
put
get the
some
free
saran
refills.
wrap
You
over
go
the
get it
top of
filled
the
up before
bucket
you leave.
and-
You leave it on the
yeah.
kitchen sink, and then you just pick away at it the next day.
What
Oh,
wow.
sort of?
I'm glad you
weird-
Wow.
That was horrendous, Bart. I'm glad
Yeah.
you didn't.
I don't know if that's
That's
an
fine.
honorable
My other ones I was very happy with. So,
Yeah,
But
no, you had a good board. I'm glad you didn't ruin it with that.
Yeah, no,
but yeah,
wow.
Sloppy Joes are great.
I had Sloppy Joe's.
Oh,
I definitely agree. Then I had like I couldn't really categorize it, but like a good stew. You know, like a second day stew.
Yeah,
kind of
I feel
thing.
like a lot of those things are better day two. You know,
Yeah, like a venison sort of maybe a stew with potatoes and carrots
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that sort
like
of all
a
the
hot
fixings.
dish.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
deal. Yeah.
kind of that sort of thing.
Oh,
but I,
dude,
Yeah.
tater
hard
tot
to-
casserole the next day.
yeah,
yeah, that's
or
that's
any kind of like I feel like a how do I like
Casserole.
corned beef,
Corned
like
beef,
any kind of like braised meat. You know,
Mhm. I think I would even say ribs. I think ribs cold are
Okay.
pretty good, but I don't know. That's maybe reaching a bit, but
but they do rip pretty hard, like not cold too.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
So I don't know.
Oh, ham.
Yeah, ham would be a good one. Cold ham is
Alright,
good.
yeah.
Like a ham,
Yeah,
Ham.
cold ham is great.
like a good ham.
I think we did well here.
Yeah,
I think
that
this
was
a
good.
pick. I
That
think
went
this is
deeper
good.
than I expected when we first started, and I was like, "Oh my god, everything's gone."
I will agree though. Frozen pizza is the true one of one, or cold pizza. Sorry,
Just yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's nowhere to beat that. That's the best.
Yeah, so hopefully that carries me, but we'll see. I don't know.
Well, yeah, we will see.
Yeah.
Let's see if people like Subway.
I don't know, dude. I got pizza and Chinese takeout.
I know, but the Subway pick I think is gonna murder
I
you.
don't think so, dude.
I really do.
I
People
don't think
really
anyone
have you
can rest
looked at our
Hey,
way?
This is a
People
thing.
comment big time of like, I was
This-
with this person
No.
until this one
I'm
pick.
telling you, this
You can
is a thing.
fuck your draft with one bad pick.
I know. I might have done it with mine. I mean, cold
Buy one,
steak,
get
I
one
didn't-
free, boys.
I thought that was
coming
really
through
gonna
right
play.
here.
Right?
Get ready. Get
No.
ready.
I'll take Bill's cold steak every single time.
Yeah, well, Bill's cold steak ain't getting him 78% of nothing this time.
Well, we shall see. We shall
Yeah.
see.
You might end up with 16 again.
Pizza
So the
alone
rest,
be
the
16.
rest were like, what, 5% then, Adam?
Yeah, no, it was like 2 people voted for the others.
So I don't know if you should
Bill
be the one
just
deciding
landslided
anything here. 5%.
Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble.
Especially when like we were done and we all looked at our sauce picks or condiment picks and we're like, yeah, these are all great. Like, we all did really good.
It was a solid board.
Hard no.
Bill just wiped the floor. He got all the white bitches voting with that Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, all the
that
super
was
hot
good.
chicks. Yeah, please,
Yeah, that listen to the
please,
podcast.
God, oh my God, send me a message on Instagram for the love of Christ.
Look at him. He's drinking wine, chilling in the barn. He could have a nice date.
He's half a
Yeah.
bottle deep, dude.
Classing the
I
bottle,
mean,
classing
is-
the place
hey.
up.
This is Costco Malbec. I mean, this is really good stuff. This is product of Argentina, Mendoza.
Of course it is.
It's $7 for this. So, salute.
Was
Yeah,
that a
one for-
Patagonia shirt too?
It's one for
No,
the
this
pizza
is,
Pinkalla bitches.
This is I think this is Wrangler. You know, I live in Montana.
He's a cowboy now.
I'm a cowboy. I'm a Wrangler. You know, but no,
All
I
right.
do. I like a glass of wine here and there. So I ran out of tequila. So
Love it.
All right, boys. Let's get the hell out of here.
all
I
right,
gotta
time to
sleep.
go.
Yeah.
Time to go to
All right.
bed.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Pass the Barb. We'll catch you on the next one.